We are legion.
Doc, did you send the videos? Spam? Yeah, I don't get why the notifications pop up.
Sell online and grow your business with Wix.
Come on. What the fuck?
Prepare yourself for 19 of the most tragic, toxic tech fails of all time, from straight up bad ideas to some of the most malignant, harmful products to have ever existed. Number 1 is an absolute travesty. So number 19, you know how for the last 60 years, the key input device to your computer has been the mouse, right? Well, in the year 2000, someone had the very bright idea to also make a cat to go along with it. This is the QCat. It was made to be able to quickly scan codes within newspapers and magazines, and then, because it's connected to your computer, directly open up a web page in your browser to learn more. Think QR code. It was a very easy sell to companies because, you know, their newspaper ads would be more likely to drive sales if people were scanning them. And for consumers, well, I mean, everyone has a mouse. Of course, they're gonna want a cat, right? That's what I thought too before this one. Fudge. Are you proud of yourself? The problem was that the QCat completely misunderstood readers. Like, what kind of person is going to open up their newspaper in the morning, but then think, oh, wait, no, I might want to get more info about the ads today. I'd better take this up to the study and sit 10 centimeters from my computer to read. So, I'll give the QCat a 2 out of 10 on the fail scale. Why do the mice always win? Number 18. So, you know when companies launch smartphones, it's not uncommon for there to be a flood of people complaining that it didn't have this feature or it didn't have that feature. Well, the ZTE Hawkeye is what happens when a company listens a little too much to this feedback. In January 2016, ZTE announced that they were going to build a phone based on what their users wanted. It might sound like a great idea, but they would soon come to realize that while their fans were voting for features that they wanted to see, those weren't necessarily the same features that they'd actually want to buy. And based on the most upvoted comments, what ZTE ended up with was an eye-tracking operated, self-adhesive smartphone. Or in other words, a device that you could operate completely through micro-eye movements, and one that you'd be able to stick to any surface you wanted thanks to a special rubberized material on the back.
That's fucking dope, though.
How on earth
I don't give a shit.
through on that?
That's fucking
ZTE
dope.
committed to building this eye-tracking tech before they actually knew how to do it. This adhesive backing was not actually for the phone itself, because if your phone is sticky all the time, it's gonna stick to things that you don't want it to stick to. So they applied the grippiness to the phone's case instead of the phone itself. And just to be able to cram all these wacky features in while keeping the price affordable, the actual specs of the phone sucked. It's a good example of how sometimes consumers don't know what they want. Hey, so Nike's a pretty cool company, right? Great shoes, cool tops, impressive tech. I mean, this is the company who came out with those self-lacing trainers a few years ago. But Nike's Magneto was not their coolest idea. The company was looking at athletes at the time, and they couldn't help but feel like these highly optimized, almost superhuman beings were being burdened by bulky, cumbersome glasses and headwear. And so their answer was sunglasses without temples, the bits that go over your ears. How do they stay in place, you might ask? Well, by gluing magnets to your face so that the glasses can snap to them. Obviously,
That's
a much
actually
better
not-
solution. Is it fair to say they had no idea? I risk my case.
Well, that would have been cool, but it would need to be done
Point
right.
is,
But I
3
like
out of 10 fail. Okay, welcome to a very unfortunate
have something that
case
can
study
stick to
on
the skin
importance
good,
of
pop it
naming.
in like a
All the
case,
way back in the
and
1930s,
have it.
one
I
of the
like
big
that.
companies on the rise was called AIDS. You can probably see where I'm going with this. This company had apparently developed a
AIDS king.
technologically miraculous candy that you could eat, and it would fill you up to the point where you wouldn't have to have a proper meal and would therefore lose weight. And I mean, the concept of eating to lose weight is kind of everyone's dream. Milo would be a very thin cat, wouldn't you? Oi. He just ate that. So, when you combine that with some very loose advertising standards back in the day, how the papers were filled with AIDS ads, how it was being recommended by movie stars without conclusive research, this brand was understandably, and ironically, ballooning. Until 1981, where medical officers at the Center for Disease Control decided to name the breakout deadly immune system infection that was spiraling out of control at the time, AIDS. It did make the candy company viral, just not the good kind. It gave a whole new meaning to these ads, that's for sure.
Why take diet pills when you can enjoy AIDS?
3 out of 10 fail. There's no treatment for that.
Okay, let's step this up another level. Ever closer to the 10 out of 10.
I'm not playing a game that involves
You might
rage.
know this already, but I'm a big fan of IKEA. And actually, if you've watched my videos right from the very beginning, you might know that I've built this channel up by filming on an IKEA table. For a simple reason. They have a killer business model. Instead of selling pre-built furniture, IKEA instead sells customers the parts to be able to build that furniture themselves. This is what allows IKEA to make their products quicker. It saves them costs from assembly and shipping. Plus, it just means that when people build their own furniture, they grow that little bit attached to it. Kind of like Lego.
I'm
Like if
super
Lego
attached
just
to my
sold
countertop.
finished sets without you needing to assemble them,
I won't go to anything else but an IKEA countertop.
However, in the mid-80s, IKEA suddenly had an idea. A way to take this philosophy to the absolute extreme. A sofa that you can blow up yourself using a hairdryer. It would be the easiest possible thing to assemble, and given how big sofas usually are, the ability to be able to send one in a form factor barely larger than a pizza box would save IKEA so much money versus their competitors. The slight issue, though, was that IKEA forgot the simple fact that hairdryers blow out hot air, and that plastic melts. See where I'm going with this? But even if you did manage to blow one up, these sofas weren't completely airtight, which led to a sinking feeling, and the fact that they were so unbelievably light meant that every time you sat down, they would move. So in the end, less of a stroke of genius, more just hot air. 4 out of 10.
It's pretty interesting.
And on a similar note of overlooking a simple but very important fact, Nintendo. Now, Nintendo is a company not afraid to experiment, and the Power Glove was possibly the most extreme example of that. This thing was straight out of science fiction. It turned your hand into the controller. And if that sounds familiar, that's because this technology was actually what formed the basis of what eventually became the Nintendo Wii. And we can't say that the tech wasn't clever. Essentially, this glove has an ultrasound speaker inside of it, which can fire out a sound wave. You mount 3 separate receivers all around your TV, and then each one of those receivers would record how long the sound wave from the glove took to get to them, which then allows the calculation of the glove's position in the 3 axes of motion. If all 3 receivers record the same time, for example, then they know the glove is in the middle. People were absolutely blown away seeing their hands projected inside of these games, and initial sales were through the roof. But the company forgot about one quite important facet. It needed to be fun. I think they got so caught up in the logistics, making sure all old Nintendo games worked with it, and just getting all the tech into an affordable package that no one stopped to ask the question of, is holding your hand out for 2 hours at a time actually enjoyable? And is it actually a better form of input for 99% of games? To both questions, no. And so people quite quickly lost interest, and the Nintendo Power Glove was buried in the cupboard. 4 out of 10. Okay, you've heard of ESPN, right? The sports broadcasting company. Well, in 2006, they decided to build their own phone that would excel at keeping you up to date with sports. They built new features like push notifications for when a goal was scored, which laid the foundations of ESPN's future smartphone app. But the phone itself was, not a home run. For starters, they priced the unit itself at $300. Yeah, this, $300. But the worst bit is that they then charge people up to $220 a month to actually get new features. $220 per month. Who do they think the target consumer is here? Like, the Queen? Needless to say, very few people signed up. 5 out of 10 fail. And something I thought was quite funny is that the first time Steve Jobs heard about this phone, he said directly to the president of ESPN, "Your phone is the dumbest effing idea I've ever heard." Kind of sounds like a toxic relationship. You know what else we don't need a phone to do? Smoke. No, really, just a few years ago, the e-cigarette company known as Vaporcade actually came out with a legit smartphone that you could puff. It had dual batteries inside, and if you decided one time that you didn't want to use the vape, both could be put towards just using the phone. And there was even an app built into it that could tell you what flavor was loaded up and how much was left. They were actually pitching themselves as a way to get off smoking. Like, the app would alert you when you'd had more puffs than you should. I can kind of see the intention, but surely anyone who would possibly consider buying this would already have a cigarette they liked, with far more flavor options, and probably also a decent working phone. The lesson is, when you try to make a product that's two things at once, most of the time, you're shooting yourself in the foot, because you're not going to be the best at either, and so you're limiting your reach to really people who are specifically searching for both. 5 out of 10. What were they smoking? Okay, just before we get to the truly toxic fails, here's a social media platform that nearly had it all. It was called Yik Yak, and it was a really intriguing concept. Basically, you're completely anonymous, no username, no profile picture, and anything you post is visible to anyone in a 5-mile radius of you. So, you might have seen this coming. This app spread like wildfire at universities. I used to be on it too. Students would use Yik Yak like a running commentary on local life, posting things like, "Am I the only one who's falling asleep in this lecture?" Or that awkward moment when you lock eyes with someone in the canteen toilets. The fact that it was local content only made it super engaging because almost everything you see was relevant to you. And this made the app contagious, prolific. At its peak, Yik Yak was even ranked above Facebook in downloads. However,
I've never heard of
its biggest strength, the anonymity, was also its downfall. Because when no one knows who you are, people become the most extreme versions of themselves. The app started evolving from light-hearted jokes to just try and get the most upvotes, slightly creepy. I actually remember one time I was sitting in a lecture, and I remember reading a post that said something like, "That boy in red is looking saucy today." I was wearing red. I can see where they were coming from. I'm kidding. But no, seriously, I remember spending the whole rest of that lecture just looking around the crowd, trying to figure out who posted this, if they were actually talking about me, if it was someone who actually liked me, or if it was just my friends trolling me. On an anonymous platform, you've got no idea. People started using Yik Yak for hate speech, racism, and bullying, and you can see how, as well as being a super engaging form of social media, it also has all the ingredients for a terrifying, venomous platform. So then, it started getting banned. And with its now hampered image, it was tough to recover. But now we're in the top 10.
Damn, that sounds interesting.
We're talking serious, even dangerously big fails. So, when you think of electric cars right now, there's a pretty good chance that you think of Tesla. But in some alternate timeline, we may well have instead been talking about Elio Motors. This company started in 2009 with a very similar goal to Tesla: reduce emissions from cars. But they had a really different way of going about it. They realized that the number of people driving 5-seater cars with just 1 or 2 people in them was going up. And so instead of pivoting all the way to electric, which 10 years ago was seen as a bit of a gimmick, they instead decided to make normal petrol cars, but with just 2 seats and 3 wheels. Now, that probably sounds like a pretty dumb idea, but it becomes a lot more enticing when you realize that it would be half the price to buy, and because it was so much lighter, could be twice as fuel efficient, saving you even more in the long run. The issue seems to be simply the fact that making cars is hard. The sheer amount of money that you need to kickstart the manufacturing process just makes cars arguably the single toughest market for newcomers to enter. But without clear communication with their customers, over the years, Elio Motors has started to turn from the underdog company everyone was rooting for to one we're a little concerned with, to now suspicions of fraud. They've taken over 65,000 pre-orders and not delivered a single car. They've revised their delivery dates so many times we've lost count, and they've stopped replying to a lot of their customers. Given that people have been waiting for almost a decade for their deliveries now, safe to say, I don't think they're getting them. 6 out of 10 fail. Now, I don't think I've ever wanted a product more than I wanted the Scribble pen. A pen which, using a color sensor on the back, can scan anything you see, with then a specialized barrel that can mix various different inks to allow you to draw in that exact color you scanned. Tell me that's not the coolest thing you've
Fucking
ever
awesome.
heard of. I mean, clearly people thought so. Literally, this 50-second clip racked up over 7 million views. And the product's Kickstarter campaign passed its funding goal in just, get this, 24 hours. But then, a Redditor noticed something. That in one frame of this trailer, the ink that you see written on the paper suddenly vanishes. Why would that be? The only explanation that makes sense to me is that the pen in the video was just a prop, and all these drawings that we've seen were actually done with an editing program afterwards. And as the years went on, it became more and more clear that this company had made a promise to people before knowing how to follow through on it. It's been 10 years since that initial reveal, and still no retail-ready product. Just a load of shady, no-face shown product unboxings of a product that looks nothing like the original. But of course, you've been able to pre-order it this entire time with your money being taken up front. This company is the definition of toxic marketing. 6 out of 10.
And in a similar vein of failed crowdfunding projects, anyone here shave? If you do, you're doing it wrong. Or at least you are, according to the Laser Razor Company. In 2015, this group of people released a video saying, shaving as we know it is far from perfect. It talks about how normal shaving is a disaster because of how it causes redness and razor burn. So, they built their own razor. It has a thin fiber stretched across it and a laser that travels down the length of that fiber in such a way that when this fiber comes into contact with the hair, the energy is transferred from that laser to the hair to burn it off. They sold it to us like it was a piece of science fiction, but they conveniently missed out the one important detail that their current best prototype could only burn off one hair at a time. I just can't. I don't even have words. Razer raised over $4 million in funding, but was then cancelled when enough backers started calling it a scam. 6 out of 10. While I don't think there were malicious intentions here, this was a tremendously bad product that nobody needed. And hey, if you like being told which tech products to definitely not buy, then a sub to the channel would be intoxicating.
Now, it's not very often that we see a viral game on the scale of HQ Trivia. It was a novel concept for sure. You could use your smartphone to not just watch a game show, but actually participate in it. Everyone would tune in at a specific time, they'd be met with an actual game host, sometimes a guest celebrity host like The Rock. It would feel like they were talking directly to you. And if you could correctly answer 12 questions in a row, you would be a winner, and you would get an actual cash prize split with anyone else who'd also done the same. This was a game like no other, being a live experience, competing directly against others, only having 10 seconds per question, having an actual cash reward at the end. The level of tension this could drive was off the charts. Like, this was someone's reaction after winning just $11 on this game. The difficulty, though, with paying the winners real money is that you gotta get that money from somewhere. And so as the number of users skyrocketed, the app just couldn't keep up with the funding. And so you were getting to a stage where even though one quiz might have had a $100,000 prize pool, with the amount of players who ended up winning, each one might have only ended up taking home like $2. So the sheer stakes that the app initially had started to lose their appeal. And the app actually hosted one final quiz with 2 hosts who were both completely drunk, who started swearing at the crowd, only then to reveal partway through that the total prize money for that quiz was just $5 because they'd run out of cash. $5 split between the 500 winners was 1 cent each. What a way to go. 6 out of 10, just because of how fast this went from phenomenon to bankrupt. You've heard of Twitch, right? The game live streaming platform that's absolutely flying right now. But how much do you know about Mixer, Microsoft's answer to Twitch? Microsoft correctly predicted that gaming was a huge and growing market. And so their whole idea was to basically make something that was just like Twitch, but with higher quality streaming. The thing is though, it is really, really hard to get audiences to shift social media platforms. Microsoft overlooked the fact that viewers aren't just there for the content. Each platform has its own communities, a sense of belonging, and really its own language. So, no one joined Mixer. And when Microsoft realized that organically building their own audience was really tough, they tried to buy one. In 2019, they announced a deal that I think it's fair to say shook the gaming world. They basically paid two of the biggest streamers on Twitch, Shroud and Ninja, an obscene amount of money. We're talking $10 million and $30 million to quit Twitch and now post exclusively on Mixer. But even though this did bring in some new users, it was far from enough to start a new community. So, Mixer died. But the funny part of it is that these streamers that they paid piles of cash to got to keep the money and were then free to go back to Twitch again. 6 out of 10.
I already knew about this. This was nothing.
What a mess. Oh, but Microsoft is actually really good at fails. It must be contagious. Because they've also secured a place in the top 5 with Skype. Okay, so you know how pretty much everyone now, when they want to video conference someone, school classes, university lectures, work meetings, we use Zoom, right? Well, did you ever wonder what happened to Skype? I remember the year 2011 when Skype was king. They were so far ahead that their name was all but synonymous with the term video call. It was literally a verb. But then they got bought by Microsoft, who, long story short, got very complacent. They knew Skype was ahead in the calling experience, but instead of reinvesting to keep it ahead, they instead spent all their efforts bedazzling the rest of the app, bloating it with updates and features that no one really wanted, and slowly but surely allowing the competitors to overtake them in what mattered: video quality. They missed the fact that people didn't want to use Skype as a social media platform. They just wanted to send a link to someone, be able to have a clean, uninterrupted video call, and then move on with their life. And Zoom just did this way better. And so over the years, Zoom's market share has been trickling up, while Skype's trickling down. But as soon as the pandemic hit, this trend was catalyzed to the extreme. All of a sudden you had floods of people searching or asking their friends, what's the best conferencing app? Only to hear Zoom, and then proceeding to download it. Within a few short weeks, Zoom zoomed ahead from 100,000 downloads a day to 3 million. And I think this sudden surge has been enough to cement Zoom as the default and bury Skype as a legacy platform. Given that Microsoft paid $8.5 billion for Skype, and they scuppered the entire thing within a decade, this is an enormous failing, worthy of a 7 out of 10. Now, this number 4, I was not expecting to put this high up on the list. On the face of it, it's just yet another run-of-the-mill failure, but the more I've looked into it, the more I am genuinely in shock at how this happened. Picture this. It's 2009. We've just had the iPhone 3GS. Early Androids are starting to emerge, and smartphones are just starting to lift off. So, a company called Peak, who'd previously seen success with a device that only ran emails, decides to release a $200 handheld device that only ran Twitter. Not a smartphone, let's be very clear about that. This did one thing, and it did that one thing poorly. You'd see all your tweets organized in a list, but in this list, you could only read the first 3 or 4 words of each tweet. Any linked websites that took you off Twitter were practically inaccessible. It was incredibly slow, but even more tragic than that, it could only ever keep the 10 most recent tweets on it at any time. If you had more than that, which, let's be honest, someone buying a dedicated Twitter handheld probably would, you had to use your PC, or you would lose them. I mean, this fail isn't putting anyone at risk. No one's losing billions of dollars, but I'm giving it a 7 out of 10 because of how unbelievably stupid it is. Gizmodo labeled it so dumb it makes my brain hurt. TechCrunch said they were sure this would be relegated in the dustbin of history. I couldn't agree more. Okay, 3. You know, if you ask most people what Apple's biggest mistake was, they'd probably say, oh, Apple Maps, or the Mac Pro that looked like a trash can, or those socks they tried to sell people to keep their iPods in. But actually, I think Apple's biggest, most alarming and dangerous fail was the FaceTime bug of 2019. If you started a FaceTime call with someone and used a really easy loophole to make it a group call by just adding your own number into it, this would trick Apple into thinking the other person had answered the call. Just to be very clear, without their permission, with just a phone number, you'd be able to hear and see what someone else's phone was seeing and hearing. It was giving potentially a complete stranger a window into your life.
Could you imagine if you were in bed jerking it and that happened?
Good reminder though of how much trust we are putting into these companies. 8 out of 10 on the fails.
Oh,
okay, at this
no,
point you've
that's
probably heard
fucking
of
crazy.
cryptocurrencies, basically virtual money. And in this new world, you have legitimate cryptocurrencies that are founded on strong, watertight principles, and you also have scam cryptocurrencies, created by people to fool others into investing in them. And we've just seen one of the worst ones ever. Squid Game. Yeah, the Netflix show. If you haven't watched it, you'll at least have heard about it. This show broke so many records that Netflix actually decided to change their entire metrics for measuring viewership. And for a few weeks, it felt like the entire world was just riding this wave of Squid Game everything. People made Squid Game themed videos, they ate Squid Game themed food, they hosted Squid Game themed parties. Well, hey, that's one party that I'm glad I wasn't invited to. But also invested in a Squid Game themed cryptocurrency. Now, this was not official, it wasn't created by Netflix, but the people who made it did make it seem legit. The starting price was 1 cent per coin. And almost immediately, people piled on, all rushing in and buying, expecting the value to go up so they could sell and make a quick buck. And sure enough, within a few days, it flew, all the way to $30 a coin. And within a week, managed to hit an all-time high of $2,800. To put this another way, if I'd spent just $50 on Squid Coin at the start, I'd have turned that 50 into 14 million. But then people realized something, that unlike with most cryptos, where you can buy and sell freely, if you wanted to convert your Squid Coin back to dollars, you had to play a game. And the game didn't exist. The developers had promised that they were working on it, but it very quickly became apparent that they weren't. And you've probably never seen anything like the fallout that came after this. Within 5 minutes of the scam being outed, 5 minutes, Squid Coin dropped from $2,800 to $0.00079. Or in other words, your sweet $14 million would become less than $4. It wasn't really a failure on the developers' end. They walked away with full pockets, and still, no one knows who they are thanks to the anonymity of crypto. But for the overeager investors who didn't do their research, they lost everything. A huge 9 out of 10 fail. But still not on the scale of number 1. And just before number 1, do remember that if your favorite fail isn't on this list, I do have a whole series of tech fails. I will link them after this one. Okay, we all love a revolution, don't we? When someone comes and says that they're going to completely redefine something, it's an easy thing to root for. Well, this is exactly what Dr. Ruja Ignatova capitalized on. She was a strong promoter of cryptocurrencies and how they take power away from the banks and give them to the people. But she felt like the current leading crypto, Bitcoin, just wasn't quite right. So, came up with one coin. Bigger, better, and easier to use. A revolution. She basically took the things that Bitcoin does, exaggerated them, and then made those the features of OneCoin. For example, Bitcoin payments take 10 minutes to arrive. OneCoin would take just 1 minute. And she seemed legit. She studied at Oxford, she had a PhD, a successful career, she was on the front page of Forbes. The Trustpilot reviews for OneCoin were overwhelmingly positive. People didn't have a reason to not believe her. So, money started pouring in. And I don't mean a few million, $15 billion worth of cash was invested by people all around the world. She got everyone from the richest to the poorest people investing in OneCoin. People sold their farms and their houses so they could be a part of it, and then she disappeared. One day in 2017, she was meant to be on stage speaking in Lisbon, and she just didn't show up. No one has seen her since. Because it turns out that OneCoin was actually a pyramid scheme. Ruja and the people she'd hired would travel around the world, brainwashing people into putting their cash into her currency, and then convincing them to get others on board. They created a system such that if an investor could get another investor on board, they would get a commission on that. And likewise, if that new investor could then get another investor on board, they'd get a commission too. So, OneCoin had an almost cult-like following. Everyone who was in it had a very strong incentive to make sure it succeeded. The slight complication being that OneCoin was not actually a proper cryptocurrency. Ruja said that the reason it was better than Bitcoin was because it was based on its own unique blockchain technology. Except, what that actually meant was, it wasn't blockchain at all. It's like me saying, oh, this iPhone costs $100, and that's because it's running on my own version of iOS, which isn't actually iOS. And as a result, you couldn't actually use OneCoin to buy anything. And this is presumably why Ruja disappeared. She knew that it would catch up to her eventually, and so she vanished before it did. What I think is really interesting about this case is that if you knew what you were looking for, the red flags were all there from the start. Her being on the front page of Forbes was actually fabricated to give her more credibility. The website was rife with grammatical errors, even in one instance spelling cryptocurrency with an I. All those Trustpilot reviews OneCoin had, they'd all been left in one single month. Fake reviews. People lost everything. This was a horrific fail on a scale that crypto had never seen.
He
before,
actually just talked
and
about
I
Sweet
hope
Corn Fresh.
we'll never see again. 10 out of 10.
Things I do for these videos.
To check out the last Nightmare Tech Fails, that video's here. Or to see some of the biggest tech that you've ever seen in your entire life, that video's here. My name is Aaron. This is Mr. Who's the
Yo,
Boss.
Doc, this was a good one, bro. This was a really good one. I really like that one. Let's see the next video and call it.
I'm a little confused about the name. Is it like real?
Damn, Doc, you got the
Are you just
put
trying
you
to
in
say
a long vid.
real
All right,
like-
Doc, we're gonna save this one.
Oh, she played Madden. That's a stream I can't get into, baby.
Right back. All right, Doc, we're gonna pull same. I'm only watching back into watching. I get the pick. Everybody knows like we might just start watching a fuck ton of random Frank P. I'm like that right now. We're gonna watch this.
What's up, guys? I'm
I
Random
fucking love
Frank
Random.
P, and today we're gonna be showing off the top 10 cool tech under $50 from all of 2021 in this special holiday edition episode. Meaning, out of all the cool tech under 50 episodes we've done in 2021, these are the most popular, top-selling, highly rated products from every episode we made this year. If you see anything you like today, I'll have them all listed for you in the description down below so you can check them out. This would make a great, wish list idea or give you some gift ideas to buy someone else. And also down below, I'm just gonna put every single episode of Cool Tech Under 50 we've done in 2021. Now, first up today at the number 10 spot from June's episode is this aluminum multimedia controller.
See, Doc, I love it. I love videos like this because I know what to buy for my setup and stuff.
First, the build quality. It's also USB-C, and you can control not only volume, but you have full media.
That video's in the
control as
playlist?
well.
Oh, bet.
So depending on
I
your
love
setup,
Random
your
Frank P.
keyboard doesn't have dedicated media keys.
I'ma watch all
or you
these. I
just
think we're
want
gonna start
that
watching
external
these.
controller like this at an arm's reach for that extra convenience to quickly mute the audio, skip tracks, and all that. This will be clutch. Now, taking a look at it, one of the more interesting things this has is the button above the volume wheel, correlating to the blue LED light. This gives you control of your volume level adjustment. So, for example, the first setting adjusts your volume in steps of 2, the middle setting adjusts your volume in steps of 4, then the third setting adjusts your audio in steps of 10. I don't know how useful that actually is, but hey, if you need it, then it's got it for you. It is a bit pricier than most media controllers out there, as it comes in at $40, but again, the build quality is better than most of the plastic ones you'll find on Amazon, and having those dedicated media keys is a no-brainer if you're looking for something like this to add to your setup. Number 9 from September's episode is the Razer Strider mousepad. While not the first thing you think of when you think of technology, this mousepad sold like hotcakes, and rightfully so. Now, what I really like about the Strider is the surface. It's a hybrid mousepad, so it's gonna give you sort of different properties than your standard cloth pad. When you take a look at it with the braiding and stuff in the Strider's surface, you'll see an even XY axis, which is gonna give you a nice smooth glide that provides.
Homie Z, welcome to the Legion, my friend. How we doing?
Even braid means no
Going on,
matter
baby?
how you glide your mouse, figure 8s, 360s, whatever you do, it's going to be a smooth and consistent glide across the entire surface. Another benefit to the surface is the fact that it's warp resistant and water repellent. So if you're clumsy, you knock over some water, you'll see here the water just beat up and not fully absorb into the material. And I actually left this shot running for 2 hours during the time lapse. And you can see how well it does.
Does look really nice, doesn't it, Doc?
A pad like this is also great for people who live in a humid climate. This is supposed to not absorb any humidity either. I can't really test it. It's not humid where I live, so I can't really speak to that, but we'll take their word for it. For me, though, the one thing that I like about this that other mouse pads don't really have is the added control with this hybrid surface. With the low friction surface here, it's just a really nice change up and upgrade if you're using a standard cloth pad. The change up will be worth it, I guarantee you. It's available in 2 sizes with large and extended, with the extended version coming in at $50. Now, for number 8 from April's episode is this 360 face tracking phone mount. And while there's been a lot of these, more recently on Amazon and the market and stuff, The reason I picked this and would still choose this over others out there is because this does not require you to download their own proprietary fishy software or app on your phone. You can use your very own camera app that you have on your phone right now. So this little gadget's gonna be
Pretty
great
crisped up.
for FaceTiming,
Living life, brother. How you
Zoom calls,
doing?
or just
Oh,
recording
just
yourself
kicking back.
where
You
wanna
know,
keep
I
it
got a
for
lot
free.
going on.
Maybe you're moving around,
Graphics
you're not
project,
used to taking
$100,000
pictures with the camera.
competition.
This will do it all for you.
Ooh,
Built-in
a lot,
lens on
brother.
the front locks onto you,
Busy
and it spins around,
content
always
creative
making
life.
sure
Or
you're in the shot.
potential
It's
work
also gonna be
spots
great
too
if
as
you're
well
live
with this
streaming or making,
stuff going
TikToks,
on.
YouTube videos,
Just played a
Instagram
couple
videos,
rounds of COD,
anything like
doing a
that.
little short
So
stream
now the
tonight.
freedom to move
Finishing
around
out
without
with
having to
this
worry if you're
segment
actually,
me
out
and
of
one of
the
my
frame.
fellow
It's so
viewers
good
have
track
called
you here.
Techtime, where
There's
we
also
kick
no
back,
manual
watch some
calibration,
tech
like I said
stuff
before.
that I
No
could
brand
buy
new
for
fishy
my
app you have to
super
download. It
awesome,
works with whatever
amazing
camera
setup.
app you use on your phone.
And
The built-in
yeah,
phone holder does
that's
rotate up and down
that's
if you
it.
want to
Pretty
angle it
good.
at a
Yeah.
certain degree.
Yeah.
It can also
Yeah.
be mounted
So
vertically
far,
or
what we get
horizontally.
January
So whatever
5th.
orientation you're filming
I've
in,
streamed
you
every
can
day
go
so
with
far. I
this
know it's
thing.
only
Now,
4
for
days,
my
but
testing works
that's good
best
for
where
me.
at least half of your
Working on
body's
some
in the frame.
content with my
That way
video
it has something
producer
substantial
well
to
for
track.
YouTube. We have
But
a little
really,
segment
whether
we got
you're
going
locking
on with
onto your
that.
face or just a body movement, you
Busy
shouldn't have
beat,
issues
bro.
setting this up to work with whatever sort of scenario you're going to be using it for.
Doc, this
And it comes in at
automatic camera
$40.
tracker's pretty good.
Now, number 7 from our March episode, you all know I love me some coffee. This is the Dorothy Rapid Cold Brewer, which makes you cold brew coffee in just a few minutes versus the 12 to 24 hours you would usually wait to make it. This makes this little mini tornado right in your home and lets you brew in just 15 minutes. It's a really simple process too. Once you have your water in the glass carafe and the Dorothy is on and spinning, you then just add your coffee grinds or whatever blend you use to make your coffee. Hint, you can use this for iced teas or protein shakes as well. And the circulation and the spinning really enhances the steeping process and just speeds up the whole brew. After it brews for 15 minutes or longer, if you want a deeper brew, you can just let it sit for a minute. Then you use the included plunger and the lid to sift through the grounds. It'll push it onto this metal can on the bottom so it's not actually, floating in your coffee. And then just like that, you have 22 ounces of instant cold brew that didn't take over a day to make. Again, the longer you let it brew, deeper your blend will be. I just made a pretty quick batch for the video. This comes in just under 50 bucks. I've seen it on sale for 35 to 40 with the holidays. Definitely worth it. I love it. And if you're a coffee head, I'm sure you'll appreciate it. Now, taking a quick break, I'm also going to throw in something that I'm sure a lot of you would definitely find useful, and that is a Windows 10 activation key from VIPYourCDKey.com, where you could save 30% and get Windows 10 for just $13. So over at VIPYourCDKey.com, you'll see
It's an
the
old
Windows
video,
10
but
Pro
that's not
key,
bad.
typically around $18.
Doc, we might watch one
We
more.
can bring that
Only because
down
I'm like
30%
really
to
in
just
love with all the
$13.
setups.
On the bottom of the page, you put in the coupon code VIP Random, and now you can pick up a new key, finally activate that PC for just $13. Once you check out and redeem your key, if you're curious how to activate Windows, they actually have a little link which describes it for you. But you can just go down to your search bar and type in activation. It'll pretty much just bring you right to the activate settings. I already have my PC activated, so it's not there for me. But it's very, very simple to do. And again, they have the little tutorial for you. And the 30% VIP random code also works for Windows 11 Pro. From $27, it'll bring you down to just 19 bucks if you want to pick up Windows 11 Pro.
Save that one. I'm gonna
Again,
pick the next one. I'm picking another Frank P one. Watch those tomorrow.
If these are like legit. Yes, they work, no problems. So if you finally want to activate your PC with Windows 10 Pro for just 13 bucks, VIP random, as well as possibly
Hector, what up, man?
Windows 11, we got you covered. Links and coupon code in the description down below, of course. Now, picking back up at number 6 from our August episode is the PurePort phone cleaning kit. And at 30 bucks, it's a bit too pricey, I'd say, for a stocking stuffer, but it'll definitely be a nifty gift for someone. I guarantee they'll find this useful. So this bizarre looking all-in-one multi-cleaner kit can definitely help you out cleaning up the dust and just nasty bits from your phone. Odds are your phone, laptop, tablet, the ports on all your devices probably haven't been cleaned recently, right? You don't think about it, but tons of just dust and buildup over time stays in those ports and could cause interference problems when you connect USBs or just plug it in cables. I mean, come on. Think about your belly button. It's probably got lint in it right now, right? Now imagine all the lint in your phone's charging port or speaker grills, which is in your pocket every single day. Yeah, you're probably checking right now, aren't you? So tools 1 through 3 are for cleaning said ports, whether it be charging ports, the speakers, earpiece. It'll scrub that dust and the lint, buff it right out. Then the ports 4 and 5 on the kit are for polishing and cleaning the pins on your charging cable. So with the iPhone Lightning cables, the pins on the cable could actually get corroded over time and cause issues with charging. And the kit does come with a microfiber cloth as well as this special cleaning solution to help with that and clean it all up. So maybe you're thinking your cable's faulty. You know, if it's not charging right away or it won't be recognized by your phone, you get those constant error messages. If it's the actual pins themselves on the cable keeping it from having that standard.
Lots, Hector, man. I got competitions, work spots, prepping videos, a lot going on. I actually need to record this content tonight too, so I'm probably gonna jump into a recording session here after one more video to get my evening going. But
I prefer having a dusty
content for your life, baby. What's been going on? Everything good? You accomplishing goals?
Episode are the Govee Flow RGB light bars. These sold just like crazy when I showed these off over the summer, so it's no wonder they made the list here yet again. So built into the cable of both light bars is this dedicated module where you can manually control the lights and the effects.
Any major accomplishment?
But obviously with their Govee app, that's where you can really go in and customize the colors and all the effects to get the most visually out of these flow.
What's going on? You've been accomplishing anything crazy? And thank you, my friend. I appreciate you.
From like at least 50 pre-made ones already.
Oh, really?
Like Pulse to go along to music on your phone, or on that built-in module, there's a little tiny mic. So it'll go along and react to the audio or music playing in your room if you choose.
Body pregnant?
You have position. Now, obviously, with the majority of you guys being gamers, I think it's pretty safe to say, given how you probably found my channel, these will be a killer addition to your desk setup, and you can configure them in a few different ways, which will really let you take your setup to the next level. Inside the box, it has two different types of stands and mounts. One pair is for mounting them vertically, so you can just reflect the RGB lights sort of off your wall, bounce it there for that overall desktop glow. This way the light will blend together nicely behind the monitor. You can have them spaced out. It'll just give your eyes that nice ease of contrast from the bright display at night versus just the dark wall behind it. Now the RGB will glow and fill that void. If you're a psycho, you could always just take them off the stand and have them shine directly at you if you desire that for whatever reason. Or again, turn them around, face the wall, add that illumination if you don't dig the vertical mounts. But the most popular use case that I've seen these used with is mounting them on the back side of your monitor, because the other mounts they include for you is just that, a 3M adhesive monitor mount. This way, now you could still have
Doc, I like those
on your wall behind it, but also free up that desktop space without physically having them anywhere on your desk. Now you'll have this super nice ambient backlight glow from your monitor that I think can just really elevate any setup. Match them to a game you're playing, a certain theme or aesthetic, whatever you want. They definitely look cool, they're gonna add a lot to your room, and they're just 50 bucks. Now for number 4 from last December. Yes, meaning this sold so well in 2021 that it still made the top 10 list this year, even though we showed it off in 2020. That is this Razer Siren Mini microphone. It sounds absolutely fantastic, superb quality for being so small and compact. This thing has some serious punch to it for the price, and I'll cut to the mic test now so you could hear how it sounds for this segment. So inside they have a 14mm capsule.
Damn, that shit's crisp as hell.
Pickup pattern, which is really going to be good for focusing on picking up your vocals right in front of you. It comes with the included stand and base. It can swivel around if you wanted to sort of angle it in a certain direction to where you're going to be sitting in front of it. And it's just super tiny and simple looking with just the LED light on the front so you can know that it's on. But there is no volume adjustment or headphone pass-through. It's just a tiny mic here with a 5/8 inch thread so you can put this on a mic stand or a mic boom arm you might already have. So as you heard, this thing just sounds crazy, crazy good. Whether you're talking to your friends over Discord or you're frequently on Zoom calls for whatever, this will seriously be a major upgrade for you if you don't already have, a really good microphone as it is. But the thing is with this, it only costs $35, which is mind-blowing from the quality of this Razer Siren Mini. Now for number 3 is going to be a shared spot of similar products, but two different options that accomplish the same thing in a way. That's the Broadlink RM4 Mini from November's episode, then the Sofa Baton U1 from March. And these guys pretty much let you take all the remotes you have around your house for your RGB light strips, your TV, cable box, speaker, soundbar, fans, pretty much anything that needs a remote to use. You can now have all those functions configured and synced to the Sofa Baton. This is now your all-in-one smart remote in the house. Admittedly, it will take some time for you to manually set this all up and have it learn all those devices and functions, but once you do, you're now only gonna need this instead of all your 6 other remotes on the coffee table. In the episode
I
we
need
showed this
that.
off, I even have it set up to work with the RGB lights in the upstairs office, where I can just quickly change it on the fly, turn them on and off. Definitely a cool and useful item with the sofa baton, and it's just under 50. However, the more recent pickup with the Broadlink RM4 Mini from last month's episode is pretty much the same thing. But instead of having an actual, tangible remote, you can have a digital remote now on your phone, and it lets you use your phone to control everything. It's that same setup. You have to manually teach the device everything you want your products and devices to do, but now you don't have to look for a physical remote anymore. It's all just on your phone in the app. It's also cheaper at just $30, but both are awesome. I'm sure you could definitely take advantage of either one depending on how you want to use these. And now you have that whole extra level of this extra smart home functionality. So again, whether you want to use a physical remote to control all your smart home stuff, or you just want to use this little module, set it up, and then control everything from your phone, you have both options, which is why I showed them both off for you today at this number 3 spot. Now, coming in at number 2 for my keyboard fam out there, we have the G-Skill Crystal Crown keycaps in white and black. So if you got an RGB keyboard, these will make it shine like no other keycap set out there. Each set in the box comes with 104 keys for your standard layout. It'll obviously fit a full-size keyboard, 75% and 60% depending on what you own. And if you're not too familiar with keyboards, yes, odds are it'll fit your traditional mechanical switch like Cherry, Gateron, Kale, or Temu. You should be fine. Taking a look at them, there are minor visual differences between the black and white crystal set. For example, you'll see on the black keycaps, you have this shine-through outline strip around the key. So you just have that additional layer now of RGB to shine through, whereas that's not present on the white set since it wouldn't really add much. But yes, as you can see, regardless of what type of keyboard you have, as long as it has RGB lights or LEDs inside, it's gonna look crazy now. And just for a visual comparison side by side to a pudding keycap, you can see the crystal set, it's completely see-through instead of being more opaque like on the pudding caps, which is now just gonna allow for a complete light show underneath and in between the keys. Even if you're not an RGB fan, you just want to keep your keyboard a static single color, the light now will just pop even more. Now that does mean you're also gonna see part of the stem from the actual switch underneath, just due to the nature of these keycaps being completely see-through, but it's not a big deal at all. I figured I just pointed out if that wasn't already obvious to you. For the price, these come in at $20, which is definitely pretty good out there. If you're looking to, take your keyboard to that next level visually and just add more life to your desk setup, these will definitely accomplish that. And then coming in at the number 1 spot, taking the crown for the top-selling, most popular product from all of 2021 in our Cool Tech Under 50 series, is the Razer Black Shark V2X headset. This is an absolutely insane value. It sounds so good, it's nice and comfortable, a fantastic microphone as well, which I'll use for the segment so you can hear how the mic sounds, but just 100% deserves the number 1 spot. This headset is insane.
So this released last summer and honestly sounds as good, if not better, than headsets 2 to 3 times this price. And if you don't believe me, check reviews of your other favorite YouTubers out there. They all repeat the same thing. The value of this headset is absolutely insane. Inside, it uses their very own Razer Triforce drivers. They're 50 millimeters each. And in terms of design, I really like the simplicity to it. It goes from that pilot headset design. It's very minimal looking. You just have a mic mute button on the back of the ear cup. And on the left side is a built-in volume dial for controlling your audio. What really stood out to me was the really good sounding spatial and directional audio for, this stock stereo experience. Identifying footprints, very, very good with these for FPS or competitive gaming. Bass impacts sound really nice, but also inside the box, they include a free code so you can go in and enable the 7.1 Razer surround sound. So you have that included here. And also, for it being emulated, also sounds phenomenal. It's just crazy what Razer's doing here with this.
The microphone is their hyper-clear cardioid. It's on a nice flexible gooseneck, so you can move it around, position it in front of your mouth and stuff. I'll cut back to the actual camera mic so I'm not interfering with it here. But just overall, I think everything about this makes an amazing, amazing value. And the headset as a whole, I'd say, hands down competes with headsets out there that are 2-3 times the price. And you're wondering, what do these come in for? They originally launched MSRP for $60. These have been on sale recently for as low as $35 over the holiday season, which to me is just mind-blowing. I guarantee you, this upgrade will be huge if you just have a crappy headset out there right now.
the sound quality, the mic, everything about this headset definitely makes it number one. All of cool tech, under $50 for 2021. Now, while that'll do it for the top 10, I do have a runner-up for you guys because even though it's not the most exciting product, it sold pretty well at the number 11 spot. Still wanted to shout it out. That is going to be this K&F CPL filter. So this circular polarizing lens could be a nifty trick for any photographer or videographer in your life, as it pretty much gives them like an extra level of magic to their shots. What it does is it cuts down on reflections greatly. So I'll show you real quick. As you can see, this is the side panel of my tempered glass PC. You can see there's that reflection from my desk. Once you actually turn the filter itself, that reflection completely goes away, letting you now just see through the glass.
Oh my god, I need that so bad.
So for example, on my wooden desktop with all the lights I have in the studio, you can see just that reflection and the sheen on the keyboard and my wooden desktop surface. However, once you turn the CPL filter to eliminate that, it now just looks so much more rich and saturated with the natural colors, allowing it to actually be seen and shine without having that reflection pretty much just taking it all away. So you can see how it looks with the CPL on and then disabled. This will also be great for like car photography or videography with seeing through windshields, as well as stuff with water and like landscape shots. Again, you can see the reflection of just the sky and stuff. You turn the CPL filter and that all goes away.
Perfect.
You can see right through into the water now, giving you a more beautiful nature shot, if this is the kind of style.
Homie Jersey Top Boy, welcome to the Legion, my friend. How we doing this evening? Bro, I moved like
Holiday edition episode of the top 10.
Oh my goodness. My man Jersey Top giving me the spiciest raid of the Let's go. Brother, man, I appreciate that. Oh, I'm first. First time chatting here.
Give it a big thumbs up.
My friend, how are we doing? This is what we love to see. The homie Jersey. I am. All is well. I'm doing this. So what I'm doing right now, it's a little segment. Welcome to the Legion, my friend. How we doing? So what I'm doing right now is a segment that me and one of my viewers do. Just sit and watch a bunch of tech stuff that I could buy for my setup and improve everything. But other than that, played a few games of COD, got a couple dubs, got bored of it. Honestly, I just been sitting here preparing. I'm actually in a $100,000 competition that's coming up for Rising Stars for Luminosity, so I'm prepping for that. I got videos coming that me and my brand new video manager are taking part of on YouTube. Me and my TikTok manager, we're getting our thing going with that. Oh, and I have a guy that I just hired a few hours ago that's finally doing my graphics package for me. So I got a lot going on. You like watching them? Oh, Random Frank P? Yeah, majority of the stuff in my room I bought because of Random Frank P. He's like my main source of tech. We're gonna watch one more video. I'm thinking of watching this one. I love me some good art. As you guys can see, and as you can see, I'm a sucker for good for. As you can see, I'm a sucker for some good RGB. You know, you can't see my full layout and what I got going on, but as you can see, I'm a sucker for my RGB. I'm quite the come. There we go. Focus on the beautiful person here. Sucker for some good RGB, man. Well, look, while y'all are here, we could kick it. We could watch one more video, then we can end for the evening. And yeah, we'll be live tomorrow again for the next one. I know it may not seem much. I know we're only 5 days in January, but I've been live every day. So let's see. I want to watch this one, but I kind of want to save it for tomorrow. But depends on how. You know what, guys? No, it's 1:36. I don't want to cut the raid short, but I need to. I do need to. Nah, you know what? I'm. Y'all just got here. We can at least talk. Shit, we can at least talk. what's my camera? I have for my actual camera right here in front of you, I'm running the Sony A7 II with a Sony FE 51.8 lens. Yes, FE 50 f1.8 lens. And then for my YouTube unboxing station, which you can't see because I haven't done the room tour video yet. Doc, drop it in Discord. Send me the 5-minute video. I don't mind watching that when it's 5 minutes. For my YouTube unboxing station where I do my videos over here, I run a Sony a6000, the Sigma f1.4 lens, and then depending on the situation with this competition, if I win it, I'm gonna get another IKEA countertop piece because I have 2 right now. I'm gonna build another one, and we're gonna build a console setup fully on my left hand side. But I also may move to Texas too as well, depending on the situation. I may move to Texas. I want to finish this this YouTube video off before I get knee deep into the investment. 7:39, we got plenty of time to chillax. There we go, camera. Woo, this camera be doing it to me. All right, Spotify, we're gonna need you to pause that. There we go. We love to see that. Yeah, we're just gonna make it a healthy relaxation type of setting here. And I'm gonna kick my feet up, and I'm gonna finish this video. We were watching this yesterday, but I didn't quite finish it through.
Identical, wireless,
So here we
waterproof,
go.
RGB.
Back to Random Frank P.
This was like right around 150. So while these are primarily, advertised for like photography and videography and stuff, there's no telling you what you can and can't do with them, right? And I know a lot of times when you're watching streamers on Twitch or YouTube or whatever, they have a lot of RGB going on in the backgrounds a lot of times. And this is a really efficient way of getting that back glow. When I'm not using them down here in the studio, I bring them upstairs in my minimal work office and I mount them behind my tonal home gym just to give that some extra ambient lighting as well. And again, it has a built-in battery, so it's wireless. It comes with a little mounting kit, a little gooseneck. You just stick them on the wall. It works great. It looks really cool. If I'm feeling like, I need an extra workout in, some red light therapy, I'll throw them up in a red RGB. That's where I primarily use them. And I just used them recently for my TV review. I had a blue strip on the wall to throw some color behind me, and the second one behind the entertainment center. Now, speaking of adding some RGB to your room or your setup, whether it's just for you or for your audience to see in the background while you're streaming, check out this really cool looking sunset lamp, as well as this Galaxy Nebula projector.
I have that. I have that Galaxy Nebula
Amazon,
projector.
And again, it's
Bliss
just a little
light.
extra something to add to the overall ambience of your room, whether it is for you or your viewers. So the sunset lamp is going to sort of kind of portray a nice warm glow
Oh, that's
or a
nice.
sunset on your wall. And while the device itself is pretty tiny overall, the glass is like magnified, so the RGB and the LEDs inside the actual lamp itself get projected and thrown pretty largely onto a wall. It's kind of impressive how bright and big this gets for it being so small. There is an app, so while it is like a amberish red and orange kind of glow, you can have a bunch of different colors and shine them all on your wall, around your setup, around your roof.
That's
Whatever you
nice. I
want,
like that.
You can do it with this, and it looks really, really cool. Again, it's so tiny, but it's super, super bright. So you can have a nice warm glow, a nice cool glow, whatever you want. And then for the Galaxy projector,
I love this. It
I've
works
done
100% just like
5 times
this.
so far. Whether it's for you or your viewers on Twitch or you're streaming, this just kind of throws up some like blue and green Galaxy
esque looking thing on your wall, or throw it at your setup, have it look nice and cool, get a whole vibe going on. I don't care what you do.
It's
But make it
definitely
look cool,
vibey.
right? That's kind of what this does. Now there's like,
But I don't
thousands
like
of
it
these
at night
different
when I
sets
gotta
of
go to
lamps
sleep.
Available on Amazon. The one I got is $30. There's also like a discount code you can apply at checkout. And then for the Galaxy Skylight projector, that was a little bit pricier at $50. But again, add that extra glow and just color to your room or your setup. Next is another cool product from Govee, and this is the
I'm hearing a
Govee
lot of things about
Flow,
Govee.
a cheaper alternative to the LifeX Beam. And it's actually what I've been using during this overhead shot to line the frame of my desk to give some extra glow and stuff to some of the shots. So the kit itself comes with 6 total pieces plus a corner
Oh,
piece
I like that.
on like a right angle. This could just be a really cool addition to add to your setup, on the wall behind it to sort of frame your desk setup. They get really nice and bright, great color saturation. Again, with Govee and their app, there are tons of different effects and scenes you can add. You can create your own sort of
I
color
like that
effects,
one.
which
That
is
one's
really
crispy.
cool. But they have a ton of preset ones already for you. You can even configure and use this with Google Assistant or Amazon Alexa. Again, you've probably seen this in the past with the LifeX Beam. This, a more affordable alternative, and so far, a lot more reliable. My Beam lasted for like 2 weeks before 2 of the modules died out on me. And this has been going for around a month now, no problems whatsoever. Now, built into the cable is a little module with a
Oh, I
built-in
love
microphone,
that.
and that's cool because say you want to use these with music, you can have it actually pick up the ambient audio going on.
I
and
like
pulse
that.
Or shine different colors to the audio going on in your room. So again, with music, it can pulse to it, look really, really cool. It's sort of like a real-time audio visualizer. These come in at $100, and for this overall, just
That's not bad for $100 bucks.
for your setup, for your room, really, really cool, and definitely affordably priced given the competition.
I like that. I'm gonna have to look them
And then
up.
lastly,
Let me
something I
pull
showed
up
off
Govee.
previously in a cool tech under 50
wrong mouse, wrong
that
mouse.
Everyone was loving, and again, it's from Govee because they got the best RGB stuff out there. The Govee Flow. So built in as a module, we can
All right,
control the
Govee
light,
official.
but
I'm
obviously with the Govee app,
gonna look at some
everything else you've seen
Govee
so far
material,
today,
see if I like it.
customize the effects and the colors to just visually get the most out of these Flow light bars. And again, like we saw with the Glide, they too have the preset scenes you can go in, but also make it pulse to go along with the music. Whether it's playing on your phone or with the built-in microphone on the actual device, it can also go along to music in your room. Now, obviously, with the majority of us here being gamers, in this episode, being for like setup RGB products, you could still add this to your setup, but also things like your entertainment center. I think it's gonna be, just fine. It'll fit in for both situations. But to get them set up, included in the box is 4 stands. 2 of them are for standing the lights up vertically, so you can shine them and blast them onto the wall behind your monitor. This way the lights shine behind it and it'll blend nicely just to give that ease of contrast we talked about earlier. And when they're powered on, you can see just that extra glow they provide for your setup. I think it looks really nice. And you can also choose to use these without the stand if you want and just lay them down on your desk and then shine them wherever. You can really do, whatever you want with the layout. But what I'm more of a fan of, and I think is definitely the smarter choice here, is to use these with the other included stands and mount them to the backside of your monitor. Because the 2 extra mounts has a 3M adhesive on the backside. So you can just stick it on the back of your monitor. This again will throw the lights up on the wall, blend it all nicely. Lots of RGB going on. And this way you're gonna be freeing up some more desk space if you don't want them physically sitting on your desktop. I think the Flow bars can really just elevate the look of your setup overall. And again, give you that added extra RGB option at the end of the day. So bringing it all together, lots of different RGB products for different situations and different setups, whether your desk setup on your monitor, entertainment center, your TV, or just your room in general. Hopefully all these different ones will be, helpful to you if you're looking to take the look of your setup to the next level and really elevate it and bring it to life. Like I said, I'll have it all listed for you in the description down below so you can check it out. And guys, hope you liked this one. If you did, give this video a big thumbs up to show your support. Feel free to follow me on Twitter at randomfrankp. And last, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Hope y'all enjoy.
I would kill
Have a
to
good day.
have my stuff my camera relax like Frank's does. Like, I know it's just all in the lens, but holy hell, I would kill to have that. It's 7:47. I probably got time for one more video, so I haven't watched a bunch of Frank P videos in a while. Love seeing the setups out there.
What's up, guys? I'm Random Frank P, back with episode 261 of Room Tour Project, the series where we show off some of the best setups to give you some ideas and inspiration for building your own setup. If you see anything you like today, I'll have it all listed for you in the description down below so you can check it out. Hopefully, with Black Friday just passing, Cyber Monday tomorrow, if you see any peripherals or hardware, maybe they'll be on sale. Who knows? All listed for you in the description down below. But let's kick it off, episode 261, right after our sponsor, Monday.com. This episode is sponsored by Monday.com. Monday.com WorkOS is a powerful platform to run all your work and create any workflow in one place. Monday.com recently launched Monday WorkDocs, where you'll never have to worry about getting all your coworkers or team members synced up with you all using different apps or platforms. Monday WorkDocs gives you this virtual multimedia whiteboard for you and your team to bring together your notes, ideas, projects, and everything in between, all in one collaborative workspace. Their real-time engine lets hundreds of people work together at once with ease, giving this new age of work-from-home users an easy-to-use platform. With Monday WorkDocs, your work is more than just text on a screen. Now everything is architectured as blocks, meaning you can add widgets, boards, charts, and create other live objects to create this live workspace all in real time. Forget the days of re-uploading documents with every change you make. Now it's all done real time. If you want to check it out, visit hey.monday.com/randomfrankp. I'll have it linked for you in the description down below.
That's pretty dope.
Anyone who signs up through my link will receive a whole month free of Monday.com. It's the holidays, people. Don't be giving me crap about a sponsored placement. All right, kicking us off today is gonna be Fortunate One. He's fortunate enough to have 2 monitors and a really nice design to the room overall. Really like how he has the hexagon sound panels sort of, pasted up and spaced out to make the room just look a bit cooler. So for those 2 displays, his primary is an Asus TUF 32-inch. It's 1440p and 165 Hz. And the left vertical monitor is an LG 32.
Calls, baby. What up, handsome man?
If you're watching, I apologize to use you as the example. But guys, down below is the instructions on how to submit your setup. And I need, proper photos. A lot of these photos from Fortunate One were just unusable. I said don't, do close-up macro shots of one product. I got like 5 photos of just one product. Not enough, just like angles and variations. So I'm going to do what I can with this one. But again, please follow the instructions down below. So trying to go over the peripherals, this is the best shot we have of sort of all of them on the desk. Sort of crowded.
This came from NM's? Is he on?
Gamepad. He also has a Ducky Mecha Ocean keyboard.
Tell that man I demand him in my chat to get ready for the 8 o'clock session.
502 from Logitech. This shot, which is powering his Hi-Fi Man HE560s, is his amp and DAC, the Magnius and Modius, and also for audio up on
He must be ready for the 8 p.m. session.
1280Ts. Again, I hate to be rude, but it's like 2 a.m. and I gotta put this episode together, and it's just hard to do that when there's not enough usable photos of the setup. Now, for the PC, off the right side of the desk, we have the NZXT H510 case inside the Ryzen 5 5600X CPU with a Corsair H100 RGB AIO, no information on RAM, an ROG Strix B450F motherboard, and a Gigabyte RTX 2070 for the GPU, all synced to a blue color theme on the inside. All in all, Fortunate One, the way your setups come together, the way you got it laid out, definitely a nice and chill gaming room. Now we've got.
Okay, this is hard. Oh, I love me a good Star Wars one.
Holy Star Wars. So we've had him on, I'd say, probably close to maybe a year or so ago. Maybe even longer or before. I don't really remember. But we've had him on and he's made some killer.
This is fire, right? I'm not the only one out there with a crazy setup.
Wrap up 2021 with this insane Star Wars setup. So for a lot of these, I'm just going to roll some photos. He actually submitted over 50. Typically, I show off like 10 to 12, so we've definitely got some variety today. So for this, just
he went hard. Oh, he paints stuff too as well.
Crazy awesome.
I used to do that. It's very hard.
He's rocking 2 LG
to me, in my personal opinion,
monitors, a 27-inch 4K 120 Hz monitor with a 34-inch as the
Doc baby. What's going on?
As well as an Asus 28-inch 4K monitor, which I believe is the solo display over on.
See, I don't like having one stagnant setup of like just Star Wars or just Marvel because I'm real picky.
RGB remotes.
I try to keep the favorites out. I gotta try to add some in, which would be like statues in the background. I'm hoping to do something better with my next setup like that.
Crazy amounts of RGB remotes. Now, for the peripherals on the desktop, we have a Corsair K95 Platinum.
Not really a tech time, but Doc Baby with the bits. Not really a tech time, just a vibe session before the 8 o'clock G Fuel stream session.
Really cool in Star Wars scene. That's the entire life of this setup here.
Inside the NZXT H510
He's got the Iron Man heart there. Oh, I like that.
900K CPU with an NZXT Kraken Z63 AIO, 64 gigs of T-Force RGB RAM on an NZXT N7 Z390 motherboard with an RTX 2080 Ti. Also in the room, he has a 48-inch 4K TV from LG. And just check out all the collectibles, the lightsabers, the helmets, the figures. Again,
see, I love the statues and stuff.
like this,
I like to have them, and I want a display case and everything. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Good use of nano leaves and everything. It's crispy.
Now, doing a 180 and taking more of the clean and minimal.
I love this one.
Really loving this.
Minimal setups grew on me because I didn't like them at first, but they grew on me. I like that my setup has a lot going on, but I have separate workstations. I got my YouTube unboxing station, my mainstream session, and my mainstream station, and then over here, eventually, I want to build a U-desk like I had a long time ago, and I want to make an all-console setup.
And as for that bottom,
but I love it, though. I love it.
24-inch Huon Canvas. It's a 24-inch drawing tablet, but he has it there right under the main display. Great for that productivity and work setup here. For his peripherals, they have a Keychron K8 keyboard with the Razer Viper Mini. You can also spot the PS5 off the left side of the desk. And also for audio, got the Beyerdynamic DT990s powered by the Shit Stack with the Madi and
you have that? Wait, have what? What do you have?
Stop. Always love a nice small form factor case. This is the Johns Plus 110 Pro case. I'll have to look that up. With a Ryzen 5800X CPU, the Leon Lee Galahad AIO, 16 gigs of G-Skill Neo RAM on an Asus Strix X570i, and an EVGA RTX 3080 Ti FTW3 graphics card. Definitely a nice and clean, compact build. Loving the way this looks in between takes. I looked up the case, and yes, definitely nice. Great job on cable management as well. Check out that undershot.
I'm a sucker for good cable management too. Hate wires, hate them. I did really well with my cable management this time. Could always be better, but I did well on it.
But also with
I will say
the
that.
tablet, it's all just ergonomically laid out so we can get the work done, the gaming done right here. Best of both worlds coming together with this really nice setup. Now, hot damn, we got FFX.
Love me some mounted monitors, man.
Is he really a Final Fantasy XIV artist? I don't know, but he's got the setup to back up the claims. I don't know. This is insane.
That is perfect.
Tons of RGB.
I don't like that mouse pad's overlapping. That's bugging my shit, but I love it.
Overdone. The setup itself, it's nice and organized. Everything's got a purpose. Gaming collectibles and figures on display. Just holy setup. This is nuts. So for the
what I would kill for my Nanoleaf controller, I don't know, you can't see it from here. My Nanoleaf controllers, they drape a lot, and I hate that.
27 inches.
His are just in there perfectly.
It all lines up perfectly. Down to his peripherals, got a Logitech G910 RGB, rocking the old Orion Spark keyboard.
The 48-inch,
Lightspeed wireless mouse.
I kind of want a TV in my Texas bedroom, maybe. I'm not sure how I would put it. I would definitely want it mounted, though.
Right side behind the monitor is a very, very unique looking case. It's the Johnsbo TR03G showcase, and it's a really unique looking, like, triangular chassis. It looks very.
That PC is hard.
Price tag backs that up. Inside's an Intel i7 10700K F CPU with the Corsair iQ H150i RGB Pro XT AIO. Corsair just adding on all the letters.
I'm only getting a Samsung TV. That's all I want. The mount, though, I would like the mount to be from the ceiling and the TV be mounted above. I really want it to be super creative in that aspect.
This is just the master of gaming. What a build. Another shot next to the setup, you can see maybe it's like a closet, but it's got the all glass mirror drawer, so it like just extends the room visually pretty much. But man,
I love how he has the cube shelf a part of that too as well. I love that. The exercise machine's kind of bugging me that's there, but I do like it. I still love it.
For one of the best of the year.
Fresh Daddy. I had a mounted flat screen when I lived at my mom's. I want mine mounted on the ceiling. Like there's a pole that comes down and you mount it to the pole and it's on the ceiling and you can just move it around. That's what I'm really wanting.
Love it. Again, the nice stacked monitor orientation. I'm always partial to that. But that blue makes everything pop and stand out more. He even has the ice blue color in that RGB Nixie tube clock behind his top monitor, which is definitely a nice touch, I think. So checking it out, the primary is a 34-inch LG monitor, kind of a trend at this
That's a
point.
360 TV mount you're talking about? Okay, I didn't know the exact words for it, but I definitely wanted to mount on the ceiling. Of course, I'd have to run the good cable management from the ceiling all the way down to like a specific outlet, but that's just what I'm wanting. I like different stuff, so I'm definitely looking for it to be mine. I know Best Buy can do it, so
EVGA graphics.
I'd be game for that. My main thing is though, I'm just really excited to finish this U-shaped desk though. That's the thing. I love that the countertops are working for me, so I'm just trying to really finish those, honestly.
Got the Logitech G502 Lightspeed mouse on, again, the SteelSeries Quick Extra Large Extended Prism mousepad, Logitech G933 wireless headset, and those speakers there are the Kanto YU4. And now we gotta check out that glorious looking PC, the Corsair 500D SE case. Inside an Intel i9 9900K CPU, 32 gigs of G-Skill Trident Z RGB RAM on an Asus Maximus 11 Formula motherboard, and the EVGA GTX 1080 FTW, which you can see is also water-cooled, which is why he had the shroud on his desktop. But all the water cooling and stuff here looks great. I love that powdered blue kind of look. We have an EKWB CPU and GPU water block for the hardline cooling, but a really, really nice looking PC. So O'Neil, you did a killer job from, again, matching the RGB in your tube lamp above the displays to the custom sort of, I don't even know what you want to call that, like the graphics card display. It's different, it's unique, and that's why it stands out. Gotta give you mad daps, mad daps.
Alright guys, so that'll wrap it up for episode 261 of Room Tour Project. Hope you enjoyed. Like I said before, all the gear and hardware you saw will be listed for you in the description down below so you can check it out, as well as the trial link to sign up for Monday.com. Everything today in the description down below. If you like this episode, give it a big thumbs up, show your support. Feel free to follow me on Twitter @RandomFrankP. And lastly, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Hope y'all enjoyed. Have a good day.
Yeah, definitely got to make sure my next setup goes 10 times crazier. Like, this setup is good. I like the close-up lens like this. I know you can't see much. It's just because this is a bedroom. This is my bedroom too as well. But we'll see how to do the net. I don't know how I'm gonna do it yet. But where at is the question. You're telling me they're in Discord, but where? I don't get why I don't get your messages. I see aces, so I'm clicking on this first. I love you. I'm proud of me too, baby.
The Rapture GT A6000 wireless router is going to be a little more interesting than usual because I've equipped myself with a regular old residential internet connection to test some of the features that ASUS says makes this thing great for gaming.
Thank you, Ibelius. Thank you, Father.
Easy port for
I'm moving,
especially for game consoles. Honestly,
fucking moving,
that
baby.
doesn't come up that often today since a lot of it can be done automatically. But when you do have to do it,
We're still in the jersey too as well. We're still in it. We're not coming out of it. I've been in the hoodie. I've been in the jersey. I'm not coming out of it, man.
Going, I'm interested in this for myself.
I'll drop the Addy to you, baby.
Going, I'm interested in this for a friend or family member who I don't want to help every time they can't connect to the multi-point server or wherever the case may be. No, your internet is fine. Your port is just blocked. Wow, they have really gotten
that shit is nice.
With their crab-shaped designs. They've also gone next level with their hardware. It's a quad-core processor in here. It supports Wi-Fi 6 up to a maximum of 6 gigabit per second over the airwaves. Now, obviously, that is not just to one client, and that is under absolutely ideal lab conditions, but I still would expect it to be extremely fast. And for nerds like me, perhaps more importantly, it's also got support for 2.5 gig LAN, and not just one port. Now, ASUS has some detail about this in their documentation, but I'd actually like to poke around in the firmware and see exactly how it works. But basically, your WAN port, you know how normally on a router you've got one that's labeled WAN, so that's the one that's going to connect to your ISP-provided cable box or ADSL modem or whatever the case may be. We can go ahead and connect that now. They've got a second 2.5 gig port, presumably for a preferred client. Say, for example, if you had your gaming PC and you were to upgrade the router, well, why does everyone else who rooms with you get to have 2.5 gig internet or whatever? But then again, most people don't even have 2.5 gig internet speeds available. So what I want to know is if I can configure one of the 1 gigabit.
I need 2.5 gigs internet speed.
WAN port. So
Official, baby. What's up, handsome?
Gig ports as maybe for my preferred client.
You gonna hit a lick on me?
Video editing work.
I'll rob you right in front of my house. Fuck you,
I have a
mean?
high-speed NAS. I don't want to store all my video footage, just on my boot drive on my computer. I'd love to see if it could be used for a use case like that.
Don't worry, big boy. I'll invite you over.
Gaming-oriented features are packet prioritization to particular devices.
Herb Daddy, I gotta give you the phone number.
According to the application, so you could say,
I'm gonna text it to you here in a minute.
I want my gaming PC to be preferred, and I want these particular games to be preferred.
We need to get this router right here.
A gaming VPN that supposedly reduces ping times to game servers. This is something that can be done. I'm not sure how good their implementation of it is, but I have actually noticed that when I VPN, for example, to our office, I actually get lower latencies to many game servers than I do just using my residential connection at home. And the reason for this is kind of complicated. ITEL explained it to me once. That's our ISP here at the office. But in a nutshell, when you're on an enterprise connection or a commercial grade connection, sometimes you will get better prioritization so that you're taking fewer hops to get to whatever your main local hub is. And a lot of your game servers or even local content servers are going to be at those hubs. So in our case, the nearest big hub is Vanix, the Vancouver Internet Exchange. So our office, even though it is actually farther from Vanix, actually has lower latency to Vanix than my.
If I got up and seen Big Boy in the fridge, I lose my shit.
Interesting, right?
How's recap of CES? This is the first video we're watching. Everyone knows I love my Asus.
So if you have two,
love it.
Usually for redundancy,
and I'm gonna be in the market for a good router because there's gonna be
have 2 internet connections.
There's gonna be
a
total of
a single device to double. So it would be for multiple devices running, or
it's gonna be total of four to 5 streamers in the same house, and I refuse to have shit internet.
This used to be the kind of thing
I'm not playing.
To load up.
I don't know if I could deal with it ever again. Like my internet has been very cooperative here since I found this tactic to do to make sure it doesn't mess up. But no, I can't fucking do it.
This particular one is not.
You're convinced these gaming routers are a scam? I got one of those extenders and get the same speed. You don't want to buy an extender, bro. They actually help jam your connectivity. I don't like connectors. If you get yourself a decent router, it's crazy unstoppable. I will tell you that.
Half-Life mode. I guess I should show some of the physical aspects of it. So you got ventilation holes on the bottom. You got some more ventilation holes at the front, along with your indicator LEDs and your WPS button. No, that's not it. That's the WPS button. This is to turn the LEDs on and off if you do not prefer to have your LEDs on. At the back, we've got our power in, power button, 2.5 gig / 1 gig, reset switch. You've got 4 1 gig ports, and then you've got a USB 3 and a USB 2 port for configuring like a USB hard drive as a just cheapo NAS running off of your router if you're into that sort of thing. It really is a nice way to save a buck, but from my personal experience, I've found that if that's really what you're after, you're probably better off just getting a less expensive router and like getting a NAS versus the more expensive routers that support the feature. Then again, there are some cheap ones that support it, but they're often really slow at it, so your mileage may vary.
Yeah, an extender straight from Verizon. Also, the only reason why I can't do nice routers is because they need to be connected to the modem, which is on the other side of the house, so it wouldn't get good speeds all the way across the house. Yeah, I try to put my modem is right here. It's right behind my monitor. I always try to put the modem in my room, but obviously with 4 people in the house, I'm gonna have to try to put it as close to like every room as humanly possible while also
pick something simple.
Routing
I like pickles.
The Ethernets while also keeping the Ethernets away from the pets. So, yeah.
I do like pickles though. I'll always remember that. I prefer to have a separate 2.4 and 5 gigahertz network. They do support QoS, so if you have like a bunch of security cameras or smart doorbells or whatever else, like IoT devices, theoretically, those should be lower priority. But because those devices can grab onto the 5 gigahertz network, I mean, and there's no reason they should be there whatsoever, I like just manually putting them all on 2.4 where they'll have better range and they don't need the additional throughput anyway, so... do you want to be in AX/Wi-Fi 6 mode? Heck yeah. Login name, admin, password. We suggest you try a mix of letters, numbers, and symbols. Do you want to continue? I mean, it's good they have these prompts, though. Like, that's what we're looking at right now. This is nice. So they've got this little dashboard where you can see your aggregate download and upload speeds, monitor your network ping and ping deviation. I'm not sure exactly what they're pinging. Maybe that's just between your router and your device? Actually, it seems a little high. Is it just telling you how long it's taking to reach just generally the services that you're using? So that's kind of neat. I hear my fan's working real hard. We might just be CPU limited. Okay.
His fans are working hard as hell.
Between OBS and Steam, it's struggling a little bit. Well, you saw it here first, folks. My laptop is bottlenecking my wireless router. Okay, this is quickly becoming a mess of wires, but there we go.
Oh, too much wires. I hate it here.
That's pretty impressive. Hold on a second. I'm not screen recording on this, so Andy, you're gonna have to grab it. Let me just turn it.
You can always double up on network, official, but also you gotta keep in mind too as well that doubling up on network does cause signal jam.
Sorry.
The 1 year is approaching. I actually have to get 1 year badges done. I don't actually know. I have to get the 2 year badge done. So I have to. So coming up, starting tomorrow, I actually have the meeting to start the graphics project. So we'll have 2 year badges and we'll have new emotes. We'll have new everything. Like, I'm not even joking around. Like, I need a lot of new shit.
I'm gonna go over here. This 81, 76. Okay, we dropped. 74, 75. I'm gonna maybe go hide around a corner or something. This is crazy. Still half a gigabit. 2 walls. 60. 66. 68.
One more.
Nope, it's not gonna make it. 68 only. 69!
Yeah!
It's kind of cool. I remember chatting with Joel Crane. I forget where he works now, but he used to be at this
The
place that makes
TikTok chat has commenced.
And
how we doing, TikTok chat? We are reviewing some CES stuff live on twitch.tv/almighty. Then we will be jumping into some games as I need to get some Call of Duty in. Full revamp, yes.
Everything sort of arrives in approximately
the guy that I initially wanted to do the full revamp, he doesn't know how to do emotes.
Closer, like getting closer,
which kind of sucks because then I have to go to a separate person. And he also kind of got mad at me because I needed him to do the intermission screen over again. And I'm kind of stumped that someone will get mad at a paying customer. So I didn't, want to cause arguments or be a pain in the ass or be rude or come off ignorant. I just didn't respond, and I just took what I had, using it obviously right now, and
instead of buying
basically the next guy that does the work for me, he's starting before I pay him or do anything. So I've been burnt by a lot of designers. I'm not even gonna lie.
You just kind of keep going.
I have one friend who's really good at what he does, but I'm looking for a different approach to my project. So
most high traffic areas.
I'm getting new emotes, follower emotes, animated emotes. Canbox screens, overlay, Warzone overlays. I'm getting the whole 9 yards. TikTok chat, what is going on? I'm getting the whole 9 yards.
I mean, here we can try it. Okay. So do I
Oh yeah, I'm very picky. Official when it comes to this type of stuff, bro. I'm super picky anyway. Look at that Z Fold.
Whoa. Okay. Well, AC.
He's got a dope case on his Z Fold. Where can I get cases like that?
No, it's definitely not working.
You want me to look at Samsung CES?
I don't think we need.
The question is, can you find me a case for my Z Fold that looks that good? Because that looked really
I haven't
good.
set it up on your device though, so it won't. Yeah, it won't do anything. I'd have to set it up again. So there's all your QoS. Hassle-free way to create port forwarding rules for online games. Optimizes.
DB band? Was that Dragon Ball? I mean, it doesn't need to be Dragon Ball, but it can be Dragon Ball.
Fantastic. You just add them and it.
You got a link?
Opens up the necessary ports. Wow, that's really awesome. Oh, that's cool. You can do a site survey to basically see what else is around you and help optimize your Wi-Fi settings. That can be really important if you've got a lot of neighbors. VPN Fusion is a feature that allows you to configure some clients to use a VPN and other clients to not if you don't want the performance hit. I'm not going to dig into that now, though. Oh, this is cool. Being able to switch modes so quickly and easily like this, that is freaking awesome. So just AP mode, if you just want to use it as an access point, repeater, media bridge. So a media bridge would use the Wi-Fi as like a backhaul, and then you'd take like everything nearby and you'd plug it in over a wire. Like obviously there's a performance disadvantage, but it means that any of those devices could talk to each other over a wire, and then everything gets consolidated wirelessly. AI mesh node, that's really cool. All right, well, it doesn't excuse the adult content filter not working, but it appears as though the reason I can't get any ports open on this laptop is that I have our corporate anti-malware security solution installed on it. So, well, I've tried everything I can think of. I've disabled UPnP, I tried a full cone NAT. I saw some people suggest that maybe the ISP is actually not providing you a true public IP. I have no way of validating that right now. But one thing I did check is whether you can set one of the gigabit ports to WAN. Unfortunately, I didn't see an obvious way to do that. But either way, when it comes to performance, this thing put up numbers that I've never seen before, so you guys can check it out at the link in the video description. Thanks to ASUS for sponsoring this video. Thanks to you for watching it, and get subscribed.
Doc, what else did you send me?
What's up, guys? I'm Random Frank P, and today
Oh,
we're
you
going to be
set
showing
me
off
up.
the top
Okay.
10 cool
All right, we're gonna
tech
come
under
back. Oh, is this the
$50
case?
from
I
all of
fucking love you.
2021 in this special holiday.
We got to. If I was ever trusted, now I need to be trusted fully here. All right, Sloth, hold on. I want to peep the scene or something real quick. Doc, I already seen this. I actually might look at this instead, because this captivated my attention more. I haven't been a fan of Razer in a minute, but...
Welcome to the Disney Bundle, where Disney Plus, Hulu, and
Why is it buffering? What? King Crippler. We're doing good. I was just talking about the LG thing I gotta get ready to shoot. Lots going on, baby. How we doing, you handsome fucker? Why is this buffering?
Oh, are you okay? I have a bad case of tech shock. Tech has overloaded my system. Oh, I hate when that happens. Every year, Razer shows up to CES with some wacky concept that never actually comes to market. Except for last year's Project Hazel RGB face mask, which did eventually launch as the Razer Zephyr, minus the cool voice amplification feature. Well, guess what? Razer has now added that in and relaunched the mask as the Zephyr Pro. And while I
need it.
Personally would have predicted low demand for such a thing, the original apparently sold out, so people must be wearing them to raves? Yeah, I see them all the time. You see them at raves, Riley? Now, Razer's wacky concept this year is Project Sophia, a modular gaming desk that would not only house swappable PC component modules, but also numerous built-in programmable displays. There's no way. Calling your bluff, Razer? This ain't happening. But the Razer X Fossil Gen 6 smartwatches and the Anki Pro HyperSense chair with haptic feedback synced with your games and your movies, and maybe even the RGB Chroma integration with your smart home devices. That's what I want. Those seem real. But Sophia's gonna join Christine on the girls' trip off the canyon.
You saw that desk in person, it's kind of sick. Yeah, I when I seen it, I was like...
A bit more down to earth.
Oh, the heck?
They did confirm some details about their next-gen PSVR 2.
I want that mask, though. I've been wanting that mask for a while.
And haptic feedback, so when it launches by the end of 2022, PlayStation 5 owners can look forward to feeling
Fun
some
fact, birthday's coming up.
vibrations on their head. in before VR head massage simulators flooded.
Yo, Crip, HD showed me the picture of you at the
Sony also
Samsung
unveiled
50-inch
an
monitor.
electric SUV concept, the Vision SEV, which joins their Vision EV sedan from last year, along with whatever other vehicles Sony's cooking up with its new automotive-focused subsidiary, Sony Mobility Inc., in their imaginary future garage. The cars are in the metaverse somewhere.
Been there. We wear the mask.
And Samsung is too good to announce all of its products on one day at CES because they are the #1 chaebol, after all. Woo! So today we got a look at the Samsung Home Hub, a giant tablet to control your smart home that I'm sure someone asked for. But one unexpected and welcome announcement was the Samsung Freestyle, a battery-powered compact projector with a built-in speaker and a light fixture attachment so that you can hang it or mount it upside down.
Okay, I didn't ask for that, but I'll take it, okay?
Smart speaker when it's not being used for projecting. Probably not going to cut it for my home theater setup, but look.
I know how HD is when it comes to that stuff, Crip. I know how he is.
Riley.
I'm glad I'm gonna be near him too as well, because he can help it.
Odyssey Arc is a massive 55-inch ultra-wide curved monitor that you can load all the animals into 2x2.
I like that.
Sorry, that you can rotate vertically to become 3 virtual 24-inch displays that curve above your head.
I need that.
You might.
I don't know, man. I kind of need that.
And that's it.
But get in the holiday spirit. It's CES holiday. Now it's time for the Butt Quacks, brought to you by the power supply building experts at Seasonic. If you're under 40, then they've been making power supplies since before you were born. And if you're over 40,
shit, you know my motto, 3 or more.
But you should still use
Gotta do it right if you're gonna do it at all.
Because they've got models with 80%
Crip, when's the monitor come out?
Hybrid fan control to reduce fan noise, and a whopping 12-year warranty. That's right, you won't have to buy another one until you're 52. Sorry to bring that up. Check them out at seasonic.com or at the link down below. Now, butt quacks aren't technically legal, but the health benefits are amazing, and I feel great.
Oh man, I'm tripping.
CES is as much about fighting back an overwhelming tide of laptops as it is about all the other wacky stuff, so of course,
For quotation is OD though, you gotta break your neck to see the top.
ThinkPads from Lenovo. But
that's fine.
He's also brought some weird stuff.
I just want to say I have it.
17 Fold.
That's all.
Which looks like a more refined OLED version of Lenovo's X1 Fold from last year. Lenovo returned the favor and took a page from the ZenBook Duo playbook to make the ThinkBook Plus Gen 3, a 17-inch ultra-wide laptop with an 8-inch display to the right of the keyboard and trackpad. Man, this thing is going to be great when someone competent like Apple copies it.
Whoa!
Hey, what? Now there's a disease spreading among the tech standard organizations, and it looks like the Wi-Fi Alliance has apparently caught the bug. Oh no, are you serious?
So sorry.
That's the only explanation we can come up with for why they just announced Wi-Fi Certified 6 Release 2. Which brings support for uplink multi-user MIMO and better power consumption, both of which are fine. It's just that the Wi-Fi naming scheme just got simplified. It just got simplified. We got the Wi-Fi 4, the Wi-Fi 5, the Wi-Fi 6, but then they screwed it up with Wi-Fi 6E, and now we're getting Wi-Fi 6 Release 2.
3 too much in your opinion? 2, 1 side by side perfect? Nah, I like being too much. You know me.
Them. Hey!
You go bigger, you go home.
Look at the consoles. See what they do with the numbers? Just do that. But not what Microsoft does. What Sony does.
The more Wi-Fi's, the better.
Speaking of consoles, Microsoft has been caught disabling developer accounts that haven't published games on the Xbox Store, presumably because many emulation enthusiasts were using them to run PlayStation and Nintendo games on Xbox consoles using homebrew software. It's weird to see Microsoft clamp down on this when they enthusiastically support backwards compatibility for the Xbox. I mean, I knew Phil Spencer had an icy heart deep below his soft teddy bear exterior.
You can see it in the eyes.
The truth is, I'm never hugging him again.
Me neither.
We probably could have seen this coming.
Have you hugged him?
Cryptocurrency mining remains a target of European governments tackling an energy crisis, and now Kosovo has banned the practice after enforcing rolling blackouts in an attempt to save power. Crypto mining became very popular in the country thanks to formerly really cheap electricity, and it's still unclear just how big of an impact crypto mining has on energy consumption worldwide. But it for sure has an impact on the supply of GPUs, and I need a few of those to run my giant vertical curved monitor. So
I
thanks,
will be
Kosovo.
needing that too as well. Did I show you the Smart Lights Go hooked you up with? No, you didn't. And I actually like them because they got a few things I want to as well. I just found them about a week ago.
Series PC has 18 automated triangular ports on the front of the case that open and close depending on your airflow needs. I am not
hello?
sure
Beautiful?
Who, if anyone, was asking for the ability to turn down their airflow, but that doesn't matter. What matters is that this thing looks like a mechanical eldritch horror that will eat your hand if you stick it in there. And that, my friends, is what the CES season is all about.
I love it. Hello?
There's so much tech news, it's crazy, guys. So come back tomorrow to stay caught up. I mean, can you imagine a company announcing something and you not knowing about it? Oh! It's terrible. What? Can't have it. What do you mean?
Hello? That case was fucking beautiful. Slav, you ready to game yet or no?
Let's go. Let's go. Hey. Get ready. Pop it. Let's go. Intergalactic, you and me. Intergalactic, you and me. Get ready, pop it, let's go. Intergalactic, you and me. Intergalactic, you and me. Get ready, pop it, let's go. Intergalactic, you and me. Intergalactic, you and me.
Check my Discord.
Let's go. Intergalactic, you.
Yes, sir.
Intergalactic, you and me.
Soon after falling into a deeper psychedelic state to escape the prison of our reality, our hero becomes trapped in his own peaceful place, which immediately becomes his sanctuary, a place filled with his...
Where did it go?
This is his new home.
I'm telling you, it's a horrible time to be an Android user. The homie yummy. What up, baby? Doc, we're about to pull the videos up here. I don't know where any of the guys are yet anyway, so let's pull them
right here.
Holy shit, you scared the shit out of me.
Bro, I've been here this entire time.
Have you? Bro, I got the music blaring in my ears right now.
Bro, I was here for a minute.
Bro, I had no idea. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Noah Daddy sent me the vacation pics. Oh, this is some paradise. I'm trying to be like you. I'm going on me a cruise. The homie Rudy, what up, baby? Can G Fuel hook me up with a mini fridge, please? Shit, I'm trying to figure the same thing out. I stream on the channel and my partner, G Fuel. Can you hook me up with a mini fridge, please? I wish it were that simple to ask. And my homie D, what up, baby?
Alright. Oh, fuck.
Keeping my promise to Doc. I'm starting this stream off with watching a video. He said I sent you 2 videos. This man Doc, he don't let up off of it. Doc gave me this idea right here. I'm doing this TikTok with my mom, bro. I swear to God I am. I fucking love Doc for that. What's this one? 21 heavily inventions that say...
Did you know that you can buy a power bank that charges itself? A building that's actually alive, or a worm that could save the planet? Welcome to 21 heavenly inventions that will restore your faith in humanity. From divine to glorious to godly. Now,
look like a freaking...
humanity's key crime.
Stop it, D.
Is how we've littered plastic.
I know I look good, but holy shit.
This is a brand new...
The Godly Gamer could be off the market. I very well could have my very own Mrs. Almighty.
And using it to make clothes. Like this. This jacket right here is 30 recycled plastic bottles. And if you go to their website, you can actually see the live counter of how many they've taken out of seas and landfill. They've just passed 30 billion. So, I'm gonna give Reprieve a
That's dope.
2 out of 10. Blissful invention, don't get me wrong. It's just things are about to get much cooler. Put this back in my clouds.
That's dope. I like fashion that I can wear. I have Nikes that are like that too as well, Doc.
Actually comes from toiletries. Every single bottle of shampoo or body wash that you buy has its own separate plastic packaging. It's not mine, I promise. But thanks to a German product designer, Jonna Breitenhuber, there is not a chance I pronounced that correctly, we are getting the soap bottle. Packaging that can store liquid personal care products, but the minute they're finished, can be used as soap. It's one of those ideas that would never randomly occur to you, but as soon as you see it, it just makes sense. And not gonna lie, I think they look gorgeous too. 3 out of 10.
So I got a box from Xiaomi the other day, but what's really interesting about it is not actually what's inside, more what it came in. This packaging has a very unusual, almost like spongy texture to it. And after looking into it, I realized that's because this box is made of mushrooms. You can get literal factories now that stick fungus sprouts into a mold and then just leave them and allow them to grow into the shape of that mold. It's so nature friendly that I can just yeet the box into the ground and it will break down and feed everything around it. 4 out of 10, joyously simple. Did you know that a French company called New Wind has started building wind trees, where each leaf is a blade that generates electricity using the air?
Yeah, I'm on G-Ville, why?
I say that wind isn't the most reliable energy source. I think structures like this are the way to go.
Bugged out.
You
It
just
didn't
build
say
them
anyone
once
was
and you have a...
Oh, yeah, I am. I'm decided yesterday since Warzone beat our ass in a very abusive way. I'm starting to stream off kind of lightly. So the homie D in here, he's a little interested in the video. I'm interested in the video too. Look, guys, I'm texting my potential wife here, okay? Yeah, it was a good day today, man. I have liked this girl for years, and I'm finally catching a W, okay? She seen me in my prime form. She seen me with red robe and bow, being very commanding. And she said, I'm not gonna lie. The first text message she sent me, she said, I'm not gonna lie to you. Seeing you in the red robe and bow, demanding, was like really hot. And I think we're going on a date on Friday. So
where I gotta go to get that dub?
Hey man, look, brother mate. You know how long it took me to get that dub myself?
That man been shopping in Dubs RS.
It's 2022, baby. It's 2022. I came to fuck it up. Hey. I want a long life, a legendary one.
Permanent tourist attraction that can also generate electricity continuously and silently. I tried to climb the tree, I promise.
Now, number 17 is a piece that was recently on display at the London Design Festival, and for good reason. I'm talking about a living chandelier, which, instead of glass or crystal, is primarily surrounded by lab-created leaves that contain actual living algae. The benefit being that it still lights your room using a bulb on the inside, like a normal chandelier, but then that bulb also doubles as a source of light for the algae, which can then photosynthesize, take in carbon dioxide from the room, and purify the air.
That's a lamp? That's dope!
4 out of 10.
Let me get that!
You can take this to the next level. There is already a company called Arup who's making algae-powered buildings. I can't stress how cool this is. These buildings are surrounded by large panels filled with algae that are not just purifying the air around them, but are also using sunlight to generate the energy that's then harnessed to power the building. And on top of that, once the algae is fully grown, it can then be taken out and used as fertilizer. Gotta give this a 5 out of 10. These plants are literally God's gift to mankind. Right, so here in the UK, one of the ways that the government has tried to reduce our impact on the planet is by getting rid of single-use plastic straws. And while I do think that the idea is right, plastic straws regularly end up in beaches, in seas, and unfortunately, in animals. The alternative straw solutions kind of suck. Or should I say, don't suck. If you go anywhere now and order a soft drink, you will get a paper straw. And you'll basically...
The homie Shots Baby, what's going on? Shots Baby, with the bitteroonies. I see you buying this. What, the lamp or... The one thing that I like...
Reusable straw. So,
the one thing that I like so far is the guys that take the plastic bottles out the water.
Give it a wipe and then
I like that. That I would buy 100%. Because I have Nikes that are like that right now.
But it's naturally antibacterial.
Now, one of the biggest trends of the entire 21st century is the shift to vegan foods. It can be better for the health, whilst at the same time only causing about half the carbon emissions. So for a lot of people, it's just like, well, why wouldn't I? Bacon. Bacon has been a pretty strong reason to not for many years. Until now, where thanks to the whole load of proteins that we've managed to extract from all sorts of vegetables and crops, the production of bacon has become possible. Apparently this is going to taste just like the real thing. We'll do a taste test when it's fully cooked. It smells amazing though.
And related to bacon, you know what leather is, right? This premium material taken from a cow. But have you ever wondered, what on earth is this vegan leather that we keep hearing about? It's actually kind of genius. There's a company called Techtime who gather the leaves of pineapples, which are usually just a waste product not needed by any other industry, extract the fibers from them, and then mix them with corn. And they end up with a material that bears striking resemblance to the real thing. And it's even better because it's not just that you're saving the animals, but it's also that if those pineapple leaves weren't used, then they would have instead been burned, which is even more damage to the environment that we're now saving ourselves from. 6 out of 10. It really does give you hope.
Most people don't realize this, but every
Oh, it's a shower head. I automatically want to buy it.
2.5 gallons of water per minute. For some perspective, that means that if you treated yourself to a nice, relaxing 25-minute shower, that's the equivalent of 1,000 glasses of hot water literally down the drain. Just try to imagine 1,000 glasses in the room you're in right now. More than likely, it would fill up every inch of space you have. The general advice from governments is to, well, just cut your shower time by 3 minutes versus your normal, but there might be a better way. Thanks to a company called Nebbia, you can buy a showerhead that atomizes water into millions of micro droplets. That might sound like it would be really unsatisfying, but the showerhead has an extremely high internal pressure, which means that these micro droplets are actually being pushed out 3 times faster than a normal shower pushes out water, thus making less water actually have more washing power. 6 out of 10. I'm feeling wet just thinking about it.
Okay, this next one. It's not a typo, it's an unexpectedly brilliant concept. So, there are 2 current issues. 1, around 35% of the trees that are being cut around the world right now are being done just to fuel the paper industry. And 2, elephants are regularly being hunted and shot just for their tusks. Poo paper, by a company called Elicozy, solves both of these problems. They figured out that by collecting elephant dung, boiling it, turning it into
I seen this. They make not these guys. There's this guy that boils rhino shit and makes it into actual liquor. Look it up. He boils elephant shit or something like that and makes it into actual liquor. You can't even fit in the Nikes? What size you wear? I always tell all my big homies, like, it sucks to have big feet because when you go in the sneaker store, bro, you gotta order your shoes. I wear 10, 10 and a half.
Heavenly territory now. Come on. I don't know why I did that. This is all flammable. We've all seen power banks, batteries to top up your gadgets on the go. There it is. You've never seen a power bank like Shine. It's a bit of a unit for sure, but the reason is that this power bank contains its own wind turbine to generate its own electricity. So you charge as many devices as you want to, and it can refill itself on its own.
Doc, I'd buy this 100%.
6 out of 10. And hey, if you feel like shining, then a sub to the channel would be angelic. Everyone
Why is this guy stealing my lines here?
Hot summer's day, sitting outside, taking in those smoky fumes. But barbecues, because they're uncovered, are hyper inefficient. Most of the energy from the coal you're burning isn't actually going into heating your food, it's just reducing air quality. The Ghost Sun Fusion, though, is a fascinating alternative. It still cooks your food, but instead of being open-topped, it does so in a completely watertight, vacuum-sealed chamber, which means that all the
That look good as hell.
is going straight into your food. It is 5 times more energy efficient, but that's not even the best bit. Because, thanks to its reflectors that triple the amount of light captured, the Fusion can also cook using just the power of the sun. Tell me that's not a bright idea. But it's one thing to have a cooker that can sustain itself. What about an entire home? This is the Eco Capsule. It's one of the cheapest houses you could buy in most countries at just 50,000 euros. And yet it's got enough space for 2 people and the interior of a simple hotel. This thing creates its own electricity using a combination of a wind turbine up top and a roof that is lined with solar panels. Plus, it automatically gathers and filters water from every single time it rains. Oh yeah, and maybe the coolest thing, because your entire home is built as a single complete unit, you can control the whole thing with just one app, which I think moves this to 7 out of 10 territory.
Okay, our facon is
I would have that as like a little vacation thing to get away.
Because I wanted to eat it on number
Turtle
6.
baby, is that Kai?
Very special plate. This is made by a company called Biotrend.
What the fuck did you call me? I like that word. That's a big word.
A bit of plastic tableware that you would otherwise throw away after using once, with their alternatives.
Turtle baby, how we doing this fine evening?
And there's no real downside. Biotrend plates are really strong. They're non-porous, so you can eat wet foods on them. You can even put them in the oven. But what moves this from good to god tier is that they're not only 8 times less polluting than a plastic plate to produce, but also that instead of filling up a landfill site when done, you can eat them. All right, so let's get the facon on there. 3, 2, 1. That facon is amazing. It's really smoky and greasy and meaty, just like bacon. The plate less so. It's still the tastiest plate I've ever had. But I think number 6 is even greater. Air, ink, which is such a gloriously simple concept that I could explain the whole thing in 3 short sentences. Air pollution is a big problem in a lot of cities. This company invented a device to capture that air pollution. They've then turned that pollution into ink, which sits inside actual pens that you can buy. 8 out of 10. Pretty ink.
Doc, I think I looked at this on the low when you sent me this, because some of the videos in our message I already looked at, and I think I did look at this, but I think I looked at it on a different video.
Completely abandoned meat. And while these messages might come from a good place, I think the main reason that they haven't stuck is that they require people to drastically change their behavior, which most aren't going to do. I think that the most viable technologies are the ones that can make the best out of our existing behaviors. Like PaveGen. PaveGen have designed basically high-tech tiles that you can line your floors with, and then when people step on those tiles, it converts the kinetic energy from the pressure they've applied into electricity. This tech has already been used many times. For example, there was a nightclub in London where people's dance moves alone were powering 60% of the venue. 8 out of 10. We all love a 2-in-1, one solution that fixes 2 problems. And Plastic Road is maybe my favorite example of it. See, when it comes to protecting our planet, plastic is annoyingly durable. It can take 500 years for this stuff to break down naturally. But if you think about it, there are times when that kind of durability is actually...
The headset needs to get here. Well, you got 10 days?
So, Plastic Road is using recycled plastic.
I'm gonna play some Last of Us with my roommate later on. You still ain't beat that damn game?
They don't get flooded thanks to the ability.
You saw the Star Wars video as well? I don't remember seeing that one in specifically.
From the simple fact that they're built using
that one I'm not sure. But Doc, I actually do, when I lay in bed, I actually look at a lot of your videos that you send me. Because you be sending me some juicy stuff. And I still have to order the phone case too.
Mealworms. See, the reason that there are so many initiatives created to tackle the plastic problem is because plastic is non-biodegradable. Or in other words, every single piece of plastic that's produced is another piece of plastic that's going to sit somewhere and take up our already limited space. Or get burned, but that's probably even worse for the environment. However, these little troopers might be turning that entire notion on its head because they can digest it. It's looking like one of the natural enzymes produced by these mealworms has the ability to break plastic down, in the same way that you probably have lactase enzymes which help you to break down and digest milk. So, if we can find a way to extract that enzyme and mass produce it, we could potentially solve the entire world's plastic problem in a few months. 9 out of 10.
Now, what's the one trusty, classic planet-saving technique that we all know about? Planting trees. Trees take in carbon dioxide, trees release oxygen, trees stabilize soil, trees are a habitat for hundreds of thousands of animal species. You get the idea. But if you wanted to plant trees to match the pace of how quickly humanity is taking them down, you would need to hire an entire army, full-time, to do so. Unless you use technology. Introducing the Flash Forest Company, who are utilizing drones that can fly above the ground, use topography to identify the healthiest sites to plant trees, drop those seeds with the required nutrients they need, water them, and then even come back later to check up on them. They're basically high-tech parents, but parents who are extremely efficient, because just one of these drones can plant 20,000 trees per day. That's basically an entire forest at a price of just 50 cents per tree. And just before number 1, quick reminder that I do have a whole series of invention videos. I think they're some of my favorite videos on this channel, so I will leave them linked after this one. Okay, so you know that solar panels are a huge part of our move to a sustainable planet. They're the most elegant way to harness the free energy that the sun gives us. But so far they've pretty much been relegated to the rooftops of buildings in some countries that get a particularly large amount of sun. They're not widespread enough yet to make a drastic difference. Well, the holy grail of solar technology is now in motion. Transparent solar. This has been a theoretical concept for a long time now. If we can figure out how to make every sheet of glass, every window, every car, every building made to also be able to generate electricity, we'd become so self-sufficient we would pretty much rocket forward an entire stage in society. But the challenge has always been, if we're absorbing this light to then convert it to electricity, then we're not letting that light through, and so these aren't really windows. This is where things get clever. Remember, light is a spectrum, and there's only certain wavelengths in that spectrum that we can actually see. So, what
The homie Gecko! 2 months with Prime! That's the second big love of the evening!
converted to energy all the light that lies outside of that spectrum.
I'm really into this video, like I'm fucking in it.
Organic soul.
You said check out the Star Wars one after this? Alright, I will.
Technology, we've already reached up to 50% of the electricity generating capacity of our current opaque cells. Lots to look forward to. He literally comes the second we stop recording. You're a little...
Do you want to know what I've been drinking under the table?
My cat is an asshole.
This is Huel Black Edition. It kind of tastes like a light chocolate milkshake, but it has literally every single nutrient you could possibly need. I'm not even exaggerating. This isn't made of ice cream or sugar. It's tapioca, coconut, peas, rice, flaxseed, and sunflower seeds. And all the sweetness is completely natural. It's mainly stevia and coconut sugar. So, for me, Huel is 3 things. It's super convenient, it's a full meal with literally 60 seconds of prep. It's the one food that's always there. Each bag is literally good to eat up to a year after you get it. And 3, is this reassurance that I'm being looked after. There's 27 vitamins and minerals, there's 40 grams of protein per serving, slow-release carbs. This is a really carefully crafted formula. So, if you hit the link in the description and give Huel...
That actually sounds pretty good.
You also get a free shaker and a Huel t-shirt. Trust me when I say, best fitting t-shirts I own.
To check out the last Inventions episode, that video's there. Or for 21 toxic tech fails, that's over here. My name is Aaron, this is Mr. Who's the Boss, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Article 7, Section 3 allows for a citizen filibuster. If I stand here and refuse to yield my time, you are prohibited from voting on the bill. Let the filibustering begin. As many of you have noted that use the internet, it has been announced that Disney has required the rights to the Star Wars franchise, and in the summer of 2015, we will see the release of Star Wars Episode 7. Herewith is my proposal for the plot of that movie. Begin with standard title sequence and John Williams fanfare, followed by a scroll to be written. I would like to mention that Brian De Palma wrote the original opening scroll for Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope. I think it would be a nice nod to the franchise if he were to write this opening scroll. Then, pan down from the twin suns of Tatooine. We are now close on the mouth of the Sarlacc pit. After a beat, the gloved Mandalorian armor gauntlet of Boba Fett grabs onto the sand outside the Sarlacc pit, and the feared bounty hunter pulls himself from the maw.
Doc, you know this was on comicbook.com, right?
And we realize that he survived his fall during the battle at Jabba's palace ship. Then do a hard cut to a repurposed Imperial destroyer. Which is
This didn't happen though, Doc. This did not happen.
Luke Skywalker, now a full Jedi Knight, training new Padawans, is using, ironically, his father Anakin's red lightsaber, which will be a symbolic, I think, visual for his battle with how to both bring about the new Jedi Order while still acknowledging his father's fall from grace. As he is training the Padawans, we pan outside of the control window to a nearby asteroid where we see, and please allow me to finish this because it's going to seem like a bit of a jump, we see Thanos, who was the villain teased at the end of the first Avengers movie. Now, Thanos, as you know, owns the Infinity Gauntlet, which has the Time Gem, the Mind Gem, the Power Gem, the Space Gem, and the Reality Gem. If he holds the Reality Gem, that means he can jump from different realities. This will be our link to the Marvel Universe from the Star Wars universe. We then cut to Earth. Tony Stark realizes that there is... Tony Stark realizes
this is someone
that there
I
is
know.
a...
I know
Tony
who that
Stark...
is. I know who that is. This is the first person I've known.
Tony Stark realizes, I do not recognize the chair. Tony Stark realizes that there has been a disturbance in what he will call a time ribbon. For the time being, I will allow J.J. Abrams to think of a better term for this. And he then starts to assemble the cream of the Marvel Universe, not the
Doc, what the fuck is this?
superheroes that we saw in the first Avengers movie. I'm sorry, but Hawkeye and Black Widow are not first tier. He would go find, Spider-Man. Spider-Man exists in that universe. He would go find Moon Knight. He would go find Daredevil. He would go find Hercules, and then that can bring in the entire pantheon of Greek gods that we saw in Clash and Wrath of the Titans. So now we have a giant 3 franchise tie-in. Now, cut back to the Imperial Star Destroyer. Luke gets a visit from, and we only show this from the boots up first. So we show these like black boots with the, and then we pan up and, oh my God, it's Han Solo. But he's older and grizzled and really like focused and cool. Like he's seen some really bad stuff and he actually seems shaken. And Luke is like, what's wrong, old buddy? And that's when Han drops Chewbacca's severed head onto the floor. Yes, in front of all the Padawans.
Way. Kids aren't gonna like
floor,
this.
In front of the Padawans.
Kids are not
Please let me finish. Thank you. The Padawans are all horrified, and Han says that the planet Kashyyyk has been destroyed by this very mysterious force. Now we know, this was Thanos. Thanos is beginning to, gather power in this universe. So while they take Chewie's head down because we've seen that they can build new bodies. They're going to build Chewie, this really cool robot. I'm thinking spider body, like a cool spider body with Chewie's head and ion cannons on it. But that will be he'll come back. That'll be the post-credits tease of this film. So keep that in mind. So I don't want you guys bummed out because Chewbacca's not dead. He will come back. Then Luke looks down and Han's wedding ring is gone. What happened with you and Leia? And Han's like, don't even get me started on that. So now we don't. Where did Leia go? Where did Leia go? She's not gone, but we will find out in a second.
The female part's a little underwritten so far, sir. I'd like to point that out.
I'm Citizen Filibuster. Thank you, and really thank you for respecting our town laws by interrupting me during this. Where was I? Yes.
Exactly why we need
at the edge of the Star Destroyer's orbit, suddenly the time ribbon begins wavering, and what comes through? The X-Men's Quinjet. That's right. What we did was, back on Earth, we showed him gathering up all the heroes, but we didn't see him gathering up the X-Men, so oh my goodness. Now Wolverine's going to be there. Now Cyclops is going to be there. The Quinjet comes through.
Doc, I hate you, bro. This shit is so butt.
They engage in this awesome star battle. It looks like the Quinjet actually is going to shoot Luke down, and suddenly this volley of lasers comes in, and what comes flying in is we think it's going to be the Millennium Falcon, just like in Episode 4 when he comes in and saves him during the Battle of Yavin. But no, it is Slave 1. That's right, Boba Fett's ship Slave 1 has to save Luke because, of course, he's trying to track down Han. He can't have Luke die. So then, now it's a battle between the Quinjet, between the X-Wing, between Slave 1, and then we see that Millennium Falcon is flying away. So now Slave 1 goes off to do that. But then we cut down to Coruscant, where Princess Leia is now consulting with Lando Calrissian. Now it looks like they're just having a very intense meeting about trade regulations and about I will not finish my speaking about trade regulations But then suddenly when the rest of the council meeting leaves, they fall into each other's arms. Oh my God, Lando Calrissian and Princess Leia are having an affair, and that is why Han Solo, because look, Lando Calrissian was like, hey, if I'm gonna lose the Millennium Falcon to you, I'll just take your woman, and he has. So then we set that triangle up. Now, cut back to the Quinjet, and Reed Richards from the Fantastic Four is piloting it. Oh, it was a fake out. It's him, and we have select members of the X-Men that I thought, in my opinion, were not focused on properly in the earlier films. We have Colossus in there. We have X-23, which is Wolverine's daughter, and then we have a now mind-controlled Sabretooth, and of course Wolverine. So imagine those two.
Doc, I can't stand you, bro. I really can't. I can't believe I watched that shit. Perp Daddy.
Yo.
We fucking gaming or what?
Yes, sir. I'm about to start up the stream in a bit.
All right. You want me to tell you how corny Monster is? He was like, "We gaming, man. 8 o'clock, right? What time is it? What time is it, Perp Daddy? Is it 8:47? Seems to be 8:47, correct?
8:47.
Yeah, he's not here. I don't see any Monster here.